Today, we get the answer to a very important question that was asked last episode. Will we be vindicated or vilified for the move that we have made? In the last couple of seasons, we have watched quarterback Jared May take us to a winning record in his time in Washington, take us to a playoff victory and 2 playoff appearances. But that was not enough for us. Even though we went off and got back-to-back 10-6 seasons, we needed more from the quarterback position, and essentially we scapegoated Jared May for any failure we had. And for so long I was saying, just give me a quarterback I can work with, give me somebody who can do a little bit more, give me more. And well, I got more, making a trade to the number 2 overall pick to select Chad Gunn, who in itself may have been a little bit of a divisive pick, not taking Jermaine Shazer, which, we'll see how that unfolds as time goes on. But I basically put it on the shoulders of Jared May and said, we are not going as far as we could because of you. So we got somebody new, and Jared May got paid a 4-year contract to go be the starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, and we'll see how that unfolds. Will Jared May prove me wrong and take the Seahawks as far as we have gone, and maybe even further than that, and have a big season? Will it blow up in his face and he, isn't going to be cut out to be a starting quarterback? Will we have a disastrous season where Chad Gunn is a bust? Will Chad Gunn prove me right in saying that I can just get a better quarterback and go far enough? We are expected to make the playoffs once again. That is what the owner wants. And I very much think this team, bare minimum, should be making the playoffs. But I think if Chad Gunn is everything that I think he can be, we can go even further than that. It's more than just Chad Gunn. We had other draft picks. We had another first-round pick that we spent on a wide receiver and a whole bunch of other stuff. Plus, on top of that, we got draft stories to take care of as well.
Adam Schefter of NFL Network here with the latest college football news around the nation. The first polls of the season are out, and Florida State is the number 1 team in the land. They're led by junior running back Kenny Coker and cornerback DeAndre Miles. If these guys decide to leave early, they both look like really good first-round picks at this point. The big matchup this month is the Florida-Tennessee game. Florida cornerback Kalimba Bryant has caused quite the stir with his pregame comments, which Tennessee coaches promptly attached to the bulletin board in their locker room. There's going to be fireworks in this one for sure. I'm actually headed out to Reno, Nevada, to get a good look at quarterback Andrew Zito. Zito had a solid junior season last year with over 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, and is trying to improve his stock with some big-time performances early in this season. That's all I have for this week. So long for now.
So now that we got everything settled, it is time to hop into week number 1. We're on the road taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll see Chad Gunn's debut in Washington. But we start with Willie Parker on the ground as the Steelers are down 17-10 in the rain here, and right up the middle, shooting the guy Michael Poe for the tackle for loss, 3rd down and 8, and that pass is going to be caught, and with one man missing, that's going to be a first down, as the defense really stepped up last year, though. But can they keep that same energy for this year? Willie Parker for a 12-yard run. Now counter left, Parker to the edge, and Willie Parker's got some of the best speed of any running back in the NFL. So now 2nd down and 2 after the 8-yard gain. Throw underneath, gonna be caught. No Hines Ward on this team. He was previously on our team. Now he's in Denver, but it's still an effective passing game as a touchdown for Willie Parker, as there is a flag down as well. It's not gonna matter. It's a face mask on us, so just basically ignore that, as Chad Gunn in a tie game, 17-17. Pressure got in. He floated that pass out. Incomplete. 3rd down and 10. Gunn with the blitz sent in. Over the middle, and that's going to be caught, as we have a new pass catcher in town. His name is Lance Spence, who we spent the number 32 pick in the NFL draft on. Another 3rd down and long situation, as that's going to be a throw over the middle, caught, and that's going to be the new tight end, Mike D'Antonio. It's 4th down and inches. We're going for it. Direct snap. Cashman. It fights for the first down, but this team traded Chris Cooley in the offseason, so we filled the void with a much more unproven low-end tight end, young guy from San Francisco we made a trade for, as DeFazio Combs. Welcome back to another year of DeFazio Combs being one of the best receivers in the league, as the handoff right up the middle is going to be a 4-yard gain. 3rd down and 6. Gunn, another blitz send in from the secondary. That pass is going to be incomplete. Throw around a defender, but now a field goal try try for the lead. Kick is off the upright again, and we are not escaping field goal troubles as Willie Parker is going to get stopped in the backfield for a 4-yard loss. We had plenty of kicking struggles last season, and we'll see if we have them this year after we drafted a kicker. That pass caught for a gain of 7 to set up 3rd and 7 as dropping to throw. Protection's good, and open man on the outside. That's going to be the tight end for the first down. So the 46 they go. First down and 10. Pressure gets in, and the sack gets the defense in a 3rd and 14. Well, Willie Parker can't get anywhere, and we get the football back with 1:20 to go. So try number 2 at this for Chad Gunn as he throws one down the left side, and that's going to be swatted away. Second down and 10. Pass right down the middle. DeFazio Combs can't hang on to that one. The rain probably played a factor there. 3rd down and 10 as Gunn middle. That's going to be Cashman on the angle, out for the first down and delivering in the face of pressure. That's a big throw as Cashman on the carry. He's made the big grab, and now he's got a big run to set us up at potentially field goal range as Cashman breaks a tackle, and Cashman coming off that 1,000-yard rookie season had some fumbling issues, but hopefully he can take a step up this year, and he's looking good right now. So let's set up for the game-winning field goal. Rookie kicker up, and it's gonna be off the post again. Come on. And this is just never going to be an issue we can escape. We're going to overtime. We lose the coin toss. Steelers get the football first. But I brought up the kicking struggles, and well, we drafted a rookie kicker in like the 4th round this year. We drafted the best kicker college football had to offer us, and we hope that he could be our guy for the future after some kicking struggles last year. But in his debut, it's a debut to forget as Willie Parker's got the carry. That's going to be a gain of 5 at the 41-yard line again. Remember, this is sudden death overtime. We can't get the football back if they put points up on the board as Willie Parker gets another first down, and he's willing this team down the field. Another good carry and a first down run to the 22, and the Steelers just say that's enough. That's all we need. Field goal unit set out. Kick is good through the uprights, and the Steelers have pulled off a victory in a disappointing fashion where Chad Gunn's debut was just fine. I mean, you expect a rookie quarterback to, in his first couple of games, have some things he needs to figure out. But, I mean, Calvin Cashman, about 73 yards on 5 catches. I think that's a little bit of a positive. It looked like we spread the ball around a little bit more. Sacks got 2 of them, no interceptions. But that's just brutal. I mean, 2 missed field goals, and we're going to have to try to see if we can shake that off, and maybe our rookie kicker can grow throughout the season, you know, just like a rookie quarterback and any other rookie. They have growing pains, but the mistake maybe we made last year is we didn't just ride the highs and lows of our kicker. We cut him and then brought in another guy. He wasn't good either, so we're going to just try and ride the highs and lows this year. And how about we ride this high of Antonio Cromartie with an interception in the game against the Saints, and he's taking it all the way for a touchdown. Antonio Cromartie is going to take us to a 21-7 lead, as it feels like we play the Saints every single year, and I think we beat the Saints a lot, but Drew Brees trying to get some measure of revenge after that pick six, as the defense is doing a phenomenal job. Just 7 points allowed and 7 points put up, as a tight end's going to be upended, but he hangs on to that one at the 43-yard line. Brees, pressure set, and he gets the throw off, and that's going to be caught for Reggie Bush. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Brees wide open tight end, and that's going to be a first down as they are driving it pretty well at the 22-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Wide open man underneath, and he just wasn't ready for the football, I suppose, as 3rd down and 10, and over the middle, that's going to be caught, and he took a shot from Weidenhofer, but he hung on to that one as goal to go. Pass is low, but it's caught for the touchdown, as it's 21-14. One-score game, as we'll get to see the offense out here, potentially, as Santana Moss and Antonio Cromartie are back there for the kick return, and it's Antonio Cromartie on the return this time, and there's going to be a penalty. It wasn't a great return, you know, just standard stuff, but it's going to be a face mask that helps us out, and it makes it look like a pretty good return to the 43-yard line as play action. Chad Gunn, 1st and 10. Time in the pocket, caught. Lance Spence breaks a tackle, breaks 2. Lance Spence has a big play for the rookie as he gets free. Spence inside the 10 and brought down at the 8. What a play from the first-round pick as Chad Gunn gets sacked, but he fell forward and actually gained 2 yards. So good job from Chad Gunn here, 3rd down and goal from the 4, back of the end zone, incomplete over the head of the receiver, so we'll settle for the field goal. Maybe a little bit of a confidence booster here. Kick is good as we take a 2-score lead once again, so, you know, they wanted us to potentially go for it, but we take the 2-score lead, and, you know, we can lean on our defense a little bit as the kick return now for the Saints, see if they can get something going past the 30, and he's going to get past the 40, and a nice return there to the 42-yard line. They'll set the Saints up in great field position and an opportunity to get this to a 1-score game, especially with a completion there for 18. Breeze under center, dropping to throw, he gets sacked, and the pressure has been great as another blitz is sent in, one-on-one coverage, and he got it right in front of Antonio Cromartie as 1st and 10 from the 29. They're in field goal range to cut it down to a 1-score game. Just 3 minutes to go as Reggie Bush takes a check down for 6, 3rd down and 4. Breeze, 1st down, and it makes a man miss, and he gets it down to the 14 as it's 1st and 10 with under 3 to go. Breeze, that pass got to the tight end. Defender tried to jump up and swat it, couldn't get there, and it's 2nd down and 3 from the 6. Back of the end zone, caught one-handed, touchdown, and the Saints are down by 3, and it's up to the offense to do something here as that pass is going to be caught for DeFazio Combs in the 1st down. 2-minute warning has hit, and Cashmont stuffed in the backfield, loss of 4. 3rd down and 14 is the situation as it could be Chad Gunn trying to seal it, and he gets sacked as that's a rare Travian Davis bad rep as it's going to be the Saints football at midfield. Great field position for him. 2nd down turns to 3rd down and 3. That pass is caught up the seam. Tight end fighting, and he's going to get brought down at the 26. Breeze with the blitz set in. He gets sacked. Calais Campbell got in there, and the pressure is really starting to get going in this 4th quarter as Breeze back to the line, hurrying it up. 52 seconds to play. 3rd down and 16. He's changing the play. They got enough time. They don't need to hurry completely, but they still have a timeout in their back pocket. 46 seconds to go, and the snap is going to be Breeze on the run. He got pressured. He had to just get it out quickly. Gain of 4 as the field goal try for the tie. It's no good, and we get some luck on our side. Missed field goal is going to give us the victory this time. So, you know, you win one, you lose one when it comes to the field goal situations, but it's going to be 1-1 regardless. Chad Gunn having a little slow start, but you expect that. Again, it's a rookie quarterback. I'm not going to start worrying if anything goes wrong until maybe like 2nd half of the season. And that's where you start to want to see that growth from the rookie quarterback. With us being on to game number 3 against the Atlanta Falcons, it is a 17-14 affair where we start the 4th quarter with the Falcons in scoring position. 2nd and inches, toss out to Michael Turner, who gets stopped in the backfield. Loss of 3 as the throw is going to be from Matt Ryan. It's going to be tipped around and incomplete. They'll punt from the 37. Curious always when teams aren't willing to try 50-plus yard field goals. But in this game, people can't even hit 20, 30-yard field goals. So honestly, they're kind of valid for it. So we get the football back up by 3. Over the middle, it's going to be incomplete. A lot of rainy games here today as Gunn is going to throw outside. Santana Moss is going to hang on to that one, and they're going to give him the 1st down. Cashmont on the carry. He's going to cut it back the other way, and Calvin Cashmont for a gain of 15. So a nice run there. Now we toss it outside. He's going to get stopped in the backfield and a fumble. Thankfully, we jump on it, but he had 6 fumbles last year, and we want him to clean that up a little bit. 2nd and 14. Gunn with an open man wide open over the middle. There's Lance Spence. And Spence past the 40 to 37 yard line. We are on that fringe field goal range. Gunn will throw underneath. That's going to be an incomplete pass. That pass broken up last second. Draw on 3rd down. No good. We're going to try the field goal. We're going to test our kicker's range. And it's no good from 56. As that's a little bit short. Maybe those 2 yards that we lost on 3rd down kind of costed us there, but we turned back to the defense, and I think we did just demonstrate why teams like to punt the football from inside the 40-yard line, because not every kicker's got range there, as that pass going to be caught for a 1st down, and they're in good position now. Turner can't get anything going on the ground. How about another loss of yards? Under 4 minutes to play now. That pass intercepted, and it's Antonio Cromartie again, and just like against the Saints, Antonio Antonio Cromartie, take it all the way, touchdown! And just like we did in the Saints game, an interception to give us a 2-score lead. Antonio Cromartie comes up big again. He moved over to that left side this season. I guess he's having a big time season to kick things off, and it's going to be another interception. Not Antonio Cromartie this time, but we take it anyway. As now a fumble immediately on the first play of the drive. We fumble and give it right back. And the Falcons still in it, as that pass is going to be incomplete, almost picked off, so I can't even celebrate the interception too much because we're fumbling the football ourselves. That hit by Thomas Howard's going to jar the football loose. 3rd down and 10, as Matt Ryan moving right, throwing it deep middle, incomplete. 4th down, 3 minutes to play, and curiously enough, they punt it. I mean, teams are real conservative. 3 minutes to go, down by 10. You got to go for it, but they didn't want to do that, as they're going to trust their defense. Maybe they'll get another fumble, as Cashmont will not get the first down. They'll just get the 3 and out, as we'll punt the football deep. And it is not a good punt in the slightest. Special teams, my goodness, it's brutal. 31-yard line, as Matt Ryan will have under 2 minutes to play. Curl route caught for the first down. Harry Douglas has it, and him and Roddy White tag teaming up, as they're going to have to go to Roddy White this time around in the first down. 41-yard line. Ryan to drop the throw with a secondary member blitzing, and he's going to have Turner on the outside, who gets lit up. Incomplete. 3rd down and 10, as Matt Ryan over the middle. Tight end gets taken out by the knees, but he hangs on. Under 40 seconds to play. Lamar Rhodes, the rookie defensive end, gets in for the sack. 3rd and 18. It's not looking like a comeback's going to happen here. It's going to be 4th down, and they fumble the football, so they're going to recover it, but that's just going to take up more time. The Falcons, I guess they're not going to use their timeout. I don't think it really matters at this point. It's a 2-score game, so it's not looking like they're going to win regardless. But 4th down, as Ryan will throw in triple coverage. It's incomplete, and we'll take home the victory, where it was up to the defense to get that pick 6 for the victory. Chad Gunn has started his season okay. I mean, like, at the very least, he's not throwing interceptions. He's got 1 pick in 3 games. We'll take that. I think one thing disappointingly for us, though, is we did have to deal with an early bye week, so we're already on to week 4.
Hi, folks. Adam Schefter of NFL Network bringing you another installment of the College Football Minute, sponsored by the fine folks at EA Sports. FSU falls down to number 7 in the polls after a 31-10 smackdown at the hands of the basketball powerhouse, the Duke Blue Devils. DeAndre Miles was out for the game due to a sprained ankle, which really hurt the Noles because Duke targeted Miles' replacement for 3 touchdowns. In other news, the Texas Longhorns are making a nice run in the Big 12 with wins over Texas Tech and number 17 Missouri. Wide receiver Durham McKinley has been a major reason why the Texas offense is looking unstoppable right now, with 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Want to mention a couple of deep sleeper prospects from smaller schools? Montana's monster right tackle Todd Boone and Terrell Green out of Idaho State. Both these guys are playing at the first-round level right now. Boone is helping Montana lead all of college football with over 330 rushing yards a game. And Green already has 66 receptions in 6 games for Idaho State. Keep an eye out for both of these guys as we inch closer to the NFL draft in April.
And we move on to game number 4 in the season. We start some divisional play against the Philadelphia Eagles as Chad Gunn gets sacked to start the quarter off. 7:30 to play, and Gunn gets sacked again. His big knock was his lack of mobility. He's not going to make anybody miss. He's not going to dodge many sacks, but we hope we have the offensive line to protect him. So 3rd down, play it safe. Concede, we do get 10 yards to help us out field positionally, but up 21-17 as the Eagles are going to field this punt. Great field position as they get past midfield, past the 40-yard line, right to the 39. So the Eagles will be set up in a great field position as Cobb will throw, and he's got time and a man over the middle for the first down to the 29-yard line as they'll keep it in the air. Cobb rolling, throwing, floating that one up. It's intercepted. He threw that one into defenders everywhere, and we take the football back as that's going to be Cashmont on the outside. Doesn't have quite the speed to get there, but it looks like may not matter as we're going to get helped out with a little penalty. penalty for the Eagles will be a face mask, and we'll get 15 yards on that one to the 43-yard line, as it'll be a throw for Gunn. Wide open man outside. That's going to be a catch and run for big yards and a fumble. The ball got put on the ground, and the Eagles pick it up. Can we stop fumbling the football, guys? Eagles take over, and that's really been the crusher this year so far. It's only been a couple of games into the season, but we're putting the ball on the ground at an alarming rate right now as Cobb pressure gets picked up, and he's got time to find an open man to a 10-yard gain. Counter run, and they're not even going to get the handoff to the running back as Cobb gets blown up in the backfield for a loss of 4. Now we're sending in the blitz on 2nd and 14. Pass is intercepted! Ronaldo Moon, the brand new corner on this team. It's going to be a pick 6, and it was Antonio Cromartie 2 games in a row. And now it's Ronaldo Moon getting it on the other side with a pick 6, and it's been so familiar. 3 pick 6s in 3 weeks to give us a 2-score lead. Eagles get brought down 3 and out for them, and on top of that, it's not a great punt. That sails out of bounds, and we'll have it at the 38-yard line with the 2-score lead. The defense giving us so much to be excited about as delivering a pass there is Chad Gunn for the first down. Draw to Cashmont, who can't go anywhere. Stopped by 3 different Eagle defenders for a loss of 2. We get to run out the clock a little bit more here as Cashmont gets those yards back, and more to 3rd and 7 as they go handoff. Giving that one to Robert Metcalf, the new number 2 running back, teammate of Chad Gunn at Texas Tech, as it gives us field goal range, trying a 50-yard plus field goal. It's through the uprights. There you go, a long kick right through the uprights for a 14-point lead. So still 2 scores for Kevin Cobb and this offense to do something here as they get a completed pass to start their drive for a gain of 9. Split backfield. Cobb has them all in to protect, and it's not going to help them out when Calais Campbell chasing you like that. And now we're sending a blitz. It leaves an open man, but Calais Campbell having a nice start to his year as well. Couple of sacks in a couple of different games as that ball behind the receiver, but he hangs on to it. Just under 40 seconds to play, though, as they're running out of time, but a pass over the middle is going to be caught, and he's outrunning the defense, and a touchdown for the Eagles, but it might be too little too late if they can't get this. Onside kick is going to be scooped up, and Washington will hang on for the victory. Chad Gunn has a 2-pick game, so not what you want to see there. But overall, a 17 of 25 performance, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. You're going to be happy with that overall. Cashmont has not had a great start to his season, but Lance Spence with 121 yards. DeFazio Combs with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this team bouncing back very well after their Week 1 loss. A couple of wins in a row now. And Ronaldo Moon has been already seemingly a fun pickup for us. Him and Antonio Cromartie have a very dynamic duo going on right now, as 3 interception returns for touchdowns between them. Big news here, though, for Tommy Harris. His contract is up, and defensive tackles in this game are, the most expensive non-quarterbacks, basically. So he's going to want, 9 to 10 million a year, depending on the contract, and I'm not really rushing to give that to him. We'll see how things unfold throughout the season, but also we have Santana Moss for a contract extension as well. Once again, just would be a 1-year deal because the 2 years counts this year as well. So it's a 1-year extension, and I said it last video, I probably said it the video before, I'm happy to give Santana Moss 1-year extensions year after year after year to keep him on this team. He is worth every penny, and at this point, he is, like in real life and in this game, he's a franchise legend, a team legend. I want him to retire in Washington just like he did in real life, so we're going to offer him that little contract, keep him around. And in this game, so this is where Jermaine Shazer got drafted to. Interestingly enough, Shazer is not starting for the Bears. So while we might have been excited to see a matchup between Shazer and Chad Gunn, we're not going to see that, as it's Chad Pennington, who was our backup quarterback a couple of years back, I think for 2 separate years. So interesting, but Shazer was a more long-term project, so they probably wanted to just start the veteran. It's not going to really work out for them too much, as we are coming out here stomping them right now. It is 34-7 with 2 minutes to play, so one of these blowout games we're not going to really need to see anything, but I guess a little unfortunate. I was really looking forward to seeing Jermaine Shazer get to play, but I understand he is a long-term project. He is a little bit more from the ground up builder as a passer. You need to do some work there, but that's part of the reason why I selected Chad Gunn in the first place. He's a little bit more plug and play ready, so That's going to be a 34-7 victory where Chad Gunn throws 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 260 yards, and a 60+% completion percentage. So far, Gunn has not done anything to lose us any games, has not made any major awful mistakes. DeFazio Combs, 151 yards, 2 more touchdowns for him. Combs could be in for a big year. I mean, this is already a guy who's had 1,500 yards in the past, but could be a really big year for him. So we're excited with what Gunn has done for us. Max Jean Giles. So this is a player who's been on our team basically since year 1. We brought him in, and he's basically been our 6th man on the offensive line every single year. We trade Davin Joseph, and now he's playing as our starting right guard. We're happy to keep him as either a low-end starter or a really high-end backup for us as we go into a game against the Carolina Panthers. It's 20-17. We are on the road. We have the football. We got the lead, and Gunn off his back foot completed for a crossing route and a first down to the 22-yard line as he go handing it off, and Cashmont in the backfield. Nowhere to go there. Loss of 1, Gunn to the air, and Cashmont into block. That's going to be an interception. And Chad Gunn, if there was one thing, he was maybe throwing a couple of picks, but not fourth quarter picks, which is different, you know? It's one thing to throw a first quarter pick. It's another thing to throw a fourth quarter pick. That's a fourth quarter pick. That's something you can't see, and it gives the Panthers an opportunity to get back into this one where we were potentially in line to take a 6-point lead or more, and now the Panthers have the football back with just a 3-point deficit. There is a flag down, though, as we are going to pay a brutal price there. Tackle for loss, but it's not going to result in anything positive for our defense with that face mask call as they get past midfield with a run there. 2nd down and 5 as it's going to be a counter right and nowhere to go. Run defense is strong. 3rd down and 8. Pressure gets in, but they get the pass off. He had to come back for that one. They call it 4th and 2. They're going for it, tossing it outside, and there's defenders there swarming him, and we get the stop. Defense does it again as Chad Gunn now on offense. Big grab to Fazio Combs. And a gain of 23 on the play as we go with the ground game, as it's going to be Cashmont for a solid 4 yards. And now I want to see this ground game get going a little bit more. Broken tackle, that's huge. How about 2? Getting it to the outside, and that's going to be a good job to turn that into something. Still not going to be enough for a first down, and a field goal is going to be good. We got our kicker getting that confidence up a little bit as it's still a 1-score game with 3.5 minutes to go. And the second time this season we've seen tackling a quarterback before even getting a handoff to the running back as it's 2nd down and long. They get it back to 3rd down and manageable 5 yards out as they are going to throw one up the sidelines and a diving deflection by Antonio Cromartie as the punt. They punt it with 3 minutes to play, trusting their defense with all their timeouts as Moss will take it past the 25 to the 27-yard line. So it'll be up to the run game to maybe try to salt this clock away, as that's going to be a broken tackle and a juke move and a fumble. Come on, Cashman. When he does something good, he puts the ball on the ground. Guess it still does get us 4 yards to go on 2nd down as Gunn. You can see how slow he is when he's going to throw one up, and it's caught. My goodness, he is as slow as you will ever see a player be, but I guess a rollout worked there. I might not ever want to call that one again, as it's going to be Cashmont for the first down. One more can end this game, as that's going to be Metcalf not getting there, losing a yard. 2nd down and 11. Handoff, as it's going to be Metcalf again for a short gain. 3rd down and 8. One more first down, like I said, could end it, and Cashmont has the first down. Game over. Chad Gunn does enough to get the job done, as that roll was just funny. He is so slow, but again, did a nice job just keeping it safe. Aside from that one interception, the 4th quarter can't be having that. Cashmont, though, has his best game of the season up until that point, 126 yards. And DeFazio Combs, how about another roughly 150 and a touchdown? So big production from DeFazio Combs, and I guess that's a good sign to see your top quarterback getting the ball to your top playmaker. He knows how to do that. So we're back in a game, taking on the Eagles once again. So getting both of our games against the Eagles out of the way pretty early on in this season. We haven't seen the Cowboys or Giants yet so far, but the Eagles keeping it close once more. And again, is DC just permanently engulfed in rain, it feels like? It is just rain games left and right, as that pass is going to be a loss of 2 on the completion. 3rd down and 10 for Kevin Cobb. He'll toss one up into a defender's hands who drops pass it. I think that might have been Laurent Landry on a chance at that one, but we'll take the football back, drag underneath. Stiff arm from D'Antonio. He'll get a couple, maybe a yard or two extra off that one. Gain of 3, 3rd down and 4, play action fake as he'll throw up the sidelines in coverage. That's a dangerous ball, and we'll punt that one away, so don't want to see dangerous plays like that. But Cobb in double coverage, that's even worse. That one's almost picked as well. 2nd down and 10, so both teams have had opportunities at interceptions. Haven't gotten it, but Laurent Landry gets this one. Intercepted. They were playing with fire a little bit, and they finally got burned as we take the football back in a deep drop for Gunn, who tosses one outside. Caught it. Good ball placement right in front of the defenders is DeFazio Combs, as that ball is going to be handed to Cashmon, who spins off a defender, is fighting ahead, keep the ball in his possession. Whenever he starts fighting, that ball sometimes pokes out a little bit from the 13-yard line, though. That's going to be a completion to D'Antonio, getting the tight end a little bit more involved. I like seeing Gunn do that a bit more than what Jared May did for us. As that run, I don't think we're going to get much forward progress on that one. We're going to lose a yard. 3rd down and 2, short drop. Gunn gets sacked, just unblocked defender. We'll have to take a short field goal try as the kick is good. So stringing together a couple of consecutive made field goals is what we like to see. So maybe our rookie kicker kind of finding his groove a little bit. Kick back deep. It's going to be Deshaun Jackson to return. Jackson from the 5 and fielding the football. Blockers on the right side setting up. He breaks one tackle, slips away and makes a miss. And Deshaun Jackson, with some of the best speed in the league, is going to outrun, create separation from everybody else, and a kick return touchdown for the Eagles to take the lead. Jackson gives the Eagles the lead on top, and now they go to DeFazio Combs. Chad Gunn, when you need a play, it's DeFazio Combs. You start to learn that one pretty quickly, as Gunn will now float one up top, double coverage, 2 defenders there, 2 receivers there. No one ends up with the football. 3rd down and 10, blitz sent in and a sack. 4th and 15, we're going for it. We want to trust Chad Gunn, and he delivers a completion. Broken tackle and Lance Spence for the 1st down. 4th and 15 converted, but Eagles get the pressure into the 2-minute warning as a sack. 3rd down and 16. Gun to the air, ball knocked away at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 16, you got another one in you. Chad Gunn is going to take a shot deep for Santana Moss. Caught Santana Moss to the 1, and Chad Gunn with 2 conversions as the handoff for the lead. Touchdown. How about a 4th and 15 and a 4th and 16 conversion on that drive from Chad Gunn? Incomplete pass to start their drive as the Eagles got a minute to go to get in field goal range. They'll throw that football on the outside, intercepted. There's a flag down, but it's a pick, and it's going to be a pick 6 for the defense. And a little deja vu for the Eagles, who had this happen to them already, as it's going to be on the Eagles. Holding, that's going to stand, and the pick 6 is going to be in Washington's favor once again. Another huge turnover to give us a 2-score lead. This defense is better than any defense I've seen at just making the kill shot type of play, as they are playmakers and they do it at the big times and the big moments. 4th down and inches, and Cobb gets sacked. Little hope they had left gets squeezed out, and Chad Gunn has his best game of the season so far. 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 11 yards an attempt, 60 completion percentage. That's what you want to see right there. Some clean football, efficient, and making some big plays and clutch plays on top of that. DeFazio Combs, 189 and 2 touchdowns. So that's, what, 3 games in a row where it's roughly 150 and a 1 or 2 touchdowns. The pick 6, Laurent Landry and Thomas Howard. Thomas Howard was the one with the pick 6. We take on the Cleveland Browns up next. The Browns are winless so far in the season, but they've kept it close in this one. And, well, what do you know? It's raining again in D.C. This place is miserable, I bet. I think we need a new stadium here. As DeFazio Combs with the catch and run, and a little drag route turned into a 46-yard touchdown. You get the speedster the ball, and he takes it the distance. But my goodness, can we do something about the weather here? It is miserable. Washington's getting a real stadium, like a new stadium done in real life. That's probably going to be like a dome and everything. Maybe we need a dome, because this place is miserable, as Ronaldo Moon is getting an interception. I feel bad for the fans here who got to sit here with their raincoats 24/7, as that's going to be D'Antonio for a grab and a 9-yard gain. Set up 3rd down and 1, where we're not going to get the first here. It's 4th and inches. We're going for it, though. go. We're motioning Cashmont out wide where we just have the fullback in the backfield, and we're going to hand it off to Good. First down, and he gets the job done there with a 2-yard gain. Gunn, free rusher off the edge, just ran right around everybody in a sack. 3rd down and 18. We're just going to run the football, play it safe here, and punt it away. Up by 14, 4.5 to go. You don't need to do anything too crazy here as the sack gets in. Pressure again, and 5 yards lost as they'll get those yards back on 2nd down, and they'll get it to 3rd down and 5 as they drop the throw over the middle to a wide open tight end. You can let them drive down the field, make sure you tackle them in bounds, do your thing, make sure that clock ticks down. We trust our offense if they go and score a touchdown to do their thing and put the game away. So don't need to just let any big plays happen. That's all, as they'll drop to throw with a lot of time. They're sending 3, but that's going to be incomplete. 4th down and 1. Now we send some pressure, and they swing it out on the check down. He's going to have the first down, but this clock is going to tick under 3 minutes to play with the flag down, as Washington might have grabbed the face mask again. Yes, they did. A lot of face masks, as they're going to get a free 15 on that one. 28-yard line. Anderson is going to have a pass almost intercepted, as Anderson will throw again. This time, it's not going to be intercepted either, as Dante Stallworth gets into the 1. Snagged that right in front of Cromartie, as we tackle Derek Anderson. No handoff for you. You can't run the football. Anderson, though, outside. It's going to be at the 1. So close to a touchdown, as 3rd down and goal. The running back, he went flying, but it's not going to be anywhere close to a touchdown. Get this dude off the team. If my running back ever did that, you're getting cut on the spot. Touchdown, though, on 4th down, as we get the football back with under 2 minutes to play, as running left, running right, going back and forth. We'll get a yard there. Handoff, stretch outside. It's not going to go anywhere. Browns use another timeout. 3rd down and 7. Game on the line as we go to DeFazio Combs. Juke move, but he's not going to get past the defender, but we don't care because he got the first down. And Chad Gunn with a near perfect passer rating on the day. 17 of 24, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 300 yards just about. And that is an awesome day from the offense to go and also run for 100 yards with Cashmont. How about DeFazio Combs? Is that another 150-plus yard, another 2-touchdown day? Is DeFazio Combs going to come out here and start setting records? Because he's got over 600 yards in the last 4 games and about, 7 touchdowns, too. It's been ridiculous from Combs.
Adam Schefter of NFL Network here with your college football update. Halfback Marty Benson is really emerging from the pack as far as the Heisman Trophy race goes. He leads the nation in rushing and rushing scores after his dominating performance in Ann Arbor, going over 300 yards and 3 scores against Michigan. The finalists for the Defensive Lineman of the Year award have been released, and here they are. Dwayne Patterson from Rutgers, Notre Dame's Mike McKay, and Texas Southern's Thaddeus Brunson. In the polls, Texas is still staying strong at number 1. Georgia has moved to number 2, and the big mover this month is Louisiana Tech at number 17. Quarterback Marcus Holland has Tech aiming for their first bowl game in over 10 years. He looks like an outstanding NFL quarterback prospect with a rocket arm and great pocket presence. That's all for now. See everyone at the same time, same place, with another EA Sports College Football Update.
So let's take a peek at some of these players. Andrew Zito may be the top quarterback. They haven't brought him up much at all, but he's compared to Fran Tarkenton, which is crazy. Marcus Holland, Louisiana quarterback, strong arm compared to Jamarcus Russell. I don't know about that one. I think I'm out on that. Learning and turnovers are his biggest weaknesses. So some notable quarterbacks, but not anybody outside of that Fran Tarkenton dude that I'm excited about. How about Vince McGrady, comp to Ray Lewis, play rec, side speed ratio, hit power? Yeah, I'll take all of that. How about Thaddeus Brunson? They just brought up DeAndre Miles, Champ Bailey, comp man coverage as his big thing there. Would love to have a Champ Bailey on our team. I mean, we once had him before, but traded him away. As we have a couple of other really interesting players, though. A couple of really cool comps, fun players. London Fletcher comp at middle linebacker. I mean, we could use another London Fletcher here in Washington after letting him go, and he's probably going to retire after this season for wherever he is at this point in his career. But some really fun players in this class. We'll see how that goes. But how about this? We look at the standings here. We went our first game of the season with a loss, a kind of disappointing loss with the missed field goals, but we've ripped off 7 wins in a row to be the #1 team in the NFC. So at the midway point in the season, top of the conference, 7 in a row, and doing a great job right now. But here against Cincinnati, it's 19-14, and there's a good reason for that, because as we hop into the fourth quarter, we see the news pop up. Calvin Cashman injured, out for game. Not only that, but how about also Robert Metcalf, injured, out for game. We've not had our running backs this game, so we've not been able to run the football, and I don't care what the situation is. You take your run game away from your rookie quarterback, not much you can really do on the offensive side of the football, so it's been a little rough. But Carson Palmer in this Bengal offense has not had the best of days, though 19 points has been enough so far to get the job done. But can they add on to it as they go with Johnson on the outside on the carry? He's going to get the first down past midfield to the 46-yard line. Now going back to Rudy Johnson, where he breaks a tackle, gets a block from Houshmandzadeh, and he's going to get the first down and nearing that field goal range. It would still be a one-score game with the field goal, but we're trying to knock them out all together, and a sack will help us with that as it's 2nd down and 14. Palmer has the tight end. He can't hang on. 3rd down and 14 as they stretch it, trying to just keep it in field goal range, and he'll break a tackle, and Rudy Johnson breaks another one. He's got the first down, and what a carry, as that's going to set them up in even closer range, and that's caught down to the 1, and they keep the drive going even further at the 1-yard line. Johnson upended. He didn't get in. I thought he did, but they say no. Defense has another try at it, and they stop him in the backfield. 3rd down and goal, and the defense holds them. I think that was a little favorable on our part to get that call. I think he got the touchdown. Definitely he was on the white line at some point with that football. Now it's up to Gunn. Touchdown and 2-point conversions. What we need, as Lance Spence past the 40-yard line with a first down gain of 11. As there's, like I said, no run game, so it's going to be all passes basically, as we are down to 1 healthy running back on the roster, and he's a dude who's like basically never played. So under 4 minutes to go. That pass intercepted, and Gunn delivering the football right to the opposition. And I mean, it's a lot easier to play defense when you know they ain't running the football, but I mean, we know they're running the football, and we are not stopping them right now, as Rudy Johnson's having his way with this defense, as that's going to be a 4-yard gain. Now we go to 2nd down and 6 with the carry left side. Under 3 minutes to play. He's not going to get anywhere. Now we go to 3rd down and 6, and the blitz set in perfectly on that left side for where the run play was going. We get the football back. Gunn is going to throw right in front. Santana Moss snagging that one out from the defender's grasp. And at the 2-minute warning, it's going to be Gunn outside and open Lance Spence for the first down. So 2 straight as Gunn is going to slant route middle, and oh my goodness, that ball is just lodged out of the hands of Santana Moss. Is now 2nd down and 10. That ball couldn't be brought in. He got it there, but Combs just couldn't hang on to it. 3rd down. That pass is going to be caught. Sets up a more manageable 4th down. 4th and 4. Potential game on the line here, as it's going to be outside and incomplete. It's not quite over yet. We have 2 timeouts, but it's not looking good for this team, and we might be ending our 7-game win streak. As the defense, it looks like we can get the football back, but it won't be with much time left. He breaks the tackle, but needing to go 12 yards, he won't get there, as we'll have 30 seconds and no timeouts with the punt. And maybe we can get a good return from Santana Moss. He's pulled off a couple of crazy returns before, but he's not going to get anything this time. 25 seconds, and we need to go 79 yards. Well, we have the strongest arm quarterback in the league, arguably, so let's do something here. Pass is caught, but he couldn't get out of bounds. Great tackle to make sure he couldn't get out of bounds, and now this team's got to hurry up, and Chad Gunn runs about a 6-second 40 time, so it's taking him a while to get there. 6 seconds to play. Clock running. Gunn gets rid of it quickly, and it's incomplete. That's good. We get the setup for 1 Hail Mary from the 44-yard line, and we've seen a number 2 overall pick for Washington do this before. Can we get the Hail Mary in Cincinnati? It's going to be Gunn loading up, throwing it for the end zone. It's caught! Hail Mary! Touchdown! But we need the 2-point conversion. It's not going to be a game winner walk-off. We need to get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to send it to overtime and to keep the winning streak alive. Gunn in the gun, 4 men out, and a running back next to him. He's gonna throw it. He's got time. He's looking for his man Combs. He put his hand up for it, but he couldn't bring it in, and it's incomplete. And even though the Hail Mary went in our favor, it's not going to get us enough for the victory. Chad Gunn loaded up through that ball about 60 plus yards in the air, and it wasn't gonna be enough as the 2-point conversion. I mean, Gunn did what he needed to do on that 2-point conversion. It's just couldn't bring it in. He had time. He found his man. He got the best player on the field, the football, just couldn't reel it in. That's unfortunate. But, man, I mean, it was a tough situation when both of your running backs get hurt and you can't run the football and you can only throw it. So, threw 2 interceptions there. Defense tried, but it was a tough situation. So, the running backs will be fine. Santana Moss won't be. He has a sprained ankle. He'll miss 1 game, and that'll be the Rams game. So, just a single game injury, but we have our running backs back for this game, and we are back in St. Louis where, man, if you remember the game from last year, I want to win this one especially. We're up 21-13. After what happened in St. Louis last year, I don't want to lose another one in St. Louis. So we got the lead. We're on defense and trying to get a bounce-back victory to get to 8-2. But Steven Jackson running it hard. And Steven Jackson, I mean, we went on a streak last year where we had to face every tough running back to tackle in the league. We had to face Steven Jackson, Brandon Jacobs, and Marshawn Lynch in 3 straight weeks. Our defense was worn out. But let's hope we can be ready for Steven Jackson right now as they're driving it down the field, on the ground, through the air, and now Jackson on the ground with 12 yards to go for the end zone. There is a flag down, it looks like, and this one will be on St. Louis, so a hold, set them back. No 1st and goal. It'll be 3rd and 12 instead, as we have a pass that's broken up, and they'll settle for the field goal. So it's 6 minutes to play. Kick is short from 37. A short kick? Is their kicker injured or something? He couldn't hit a 37-yarder. Okay, just when you think we have kicking problems at times, man, it'll never be that bad, I hope, as that pass is going to be caught over the middle. Nice little gain right there as we hand it off, and Cashmont to the edge. He's going to have himself a solid gain of 6, 4.5 to go. Gunn, quick drop, slant over the middle is going to be caught by DeFazio Combs, and he'll have it to the 25-yard line. Gunn with another quick drop and throws it up to Lance Spence for the 1st down, and Spence has been really nice at times. He's had some nice plays, as that's going to be a nice one with a broken tackle and a little spin move there to get us 5 yards to the 7-yard line as we're looking for the 2-score lead. Open man underneath, touchdown to Fazio Combs. 28-13 is your score as they'll throw that one up, and I think another flag is down. I don't know if this one's going to hold up either, as the penalty will be on St. Louis. Holding once again will back themselves up and down by 15. It's a rough scenario for this team to try to get back into this one. They'll get the penalty yards back. They'll get even more than that. 19 yards to set up a 1-yard to go situation here on 3rd down. Outside on the flats. That's incomplete. What a shot. 4th down and 1 as they try to run, and then that's not going to work. This run defense is so good sometimes at just making explosive plays, and then DeFazio combs up the sidelines for a gain of 19. Play action. Gunn's got time, and he will throw one up to Lance Spence, and high pointing that football is Spence, who gets it down to the 5-yard line, and a chance to go up by 3 scores. Metcalf can't get in. No gain, as now we'll go to the air. Quick pass to the end zone. Incomplete, and we'll just settle for the field goal. Couldn't get it in from the goal line, but we are fine with that because we'll take the 3-score lead, 31-13, and things are looking good to get back on track here and to get some revenge after that just brutal game last year in St. Louis. So at 8-2 is likely going to be the record coming out of this one, and I am more than happy about that, as we will be atop the NFC still and probably tied with another team or two, but we still have some divisional games to get into against the Giants and Cowboys. We'll see how those ends up unfolding, but another good game from Chad Gunn. How about over 60%, 3 touchdowns, no picks? And do you know how it feels to have a quarterback who just doesn't throw picks sometimes? Like, just he'll have games where multiple games doesn't throw a pick. DeFazio Combs, how about another roughly 150-yard game and a touchdown? I mean, Combs is putting up big numbers this season, and this is already like 5+ games of 140+ yards. Like, it's a lot of production right now, and we'll see where he ends up finishing in terms of the the receiving leaders this season. The Vikings are the only team next to us at 8-2. Cowboys and Giants just behind at 7-3. And speaking of those Cowboys, we take them on for the first time. And how is it raining in Jerry World? That doesn't even make sense, guys. It's raining it's raining in Dallas, in the dome. How does this happen? They opened up the roof for it or something, but it's raining somehow. As a fumble, Barber puts it on the ground. It's picked up. And every game, this feels like it's got to be a rain game. How are we raining here? As that pass thrown up in the air, Romo has a completed pass. And up 20-16, the Cowboys with the football, trying to tack on to that lead as they have Barber out in the flats. And Barber has a first down and more, 31 yards to go for the end zone. As that pass up in there, intercepted! And look who it is, Antonio Cromartie! He was doing it early on in the season, but don't you forget, he is one of the best in the league when it comes to taking that football the other way that the NFL has to offer. As we have his third pick six of the season, this one to give us the lead, but now a slant route. Cowboys starting their drive off with a big gain. They go from their 34 roughly to our 34 as Romo to the air has his tight end Jason Witten not on the team anymore, but he'll still find his tight end for completions as Marion Barber is going to have an 8-yard gain inside the 20-yard line. Romo spread in the field, 3-man rush for Washington, dropping everyone back in coverage, but they're still going to get the first down. And with the lead on the line, goal to go from the 5. Romo, they sneak it. QB sneak from the 5, and it works. Touchdown. Cowboys got the lead. We're down with 4 minutes to play as the throw up his back foot in the face of pressure to D'Antonio gets the first down. And now blitzing in again as Gunn outside. That pass caught. He kept his foot in, and that's going to be big there as we go with the little keeper for our running back Cashmont, lining up in that QB Wildcat sort of package that we have for him, as it's going to be Cashmont with the run there. Sets up 4th down and 2. Well, if they snuck it from the 5, we can sneak it 2 yards out. We do get it. Best believe we will not give our 40-speed quarterback a sneak. He has about as much athleticism as a wet paper bag, as that's going to be a catch. Santana Moss, welcome back to the lineup, and Santana Moss touchdown from 30 yards out, and that's going to be our lead now. 2 minutes to play, as it's going to be Marion Barber out of the backfield. Romo getting Barber the football on the ground through the air, and he's making our defense pay regardless as we send the blitz throw up in double coverage. Intercepted, Antonio Cromartie. It's not going to be a touchdown this time, but it's going to be a pick nonetheless, and we have the football with under 2 minutes to play. Can we get this clock down to 0, not let Romo touch the football again? D'Antonio catches it for the first down. One more will end it. Keeper for Cashmont. He's got the first down, and we'll seal this game up as Chad Gunn is going to get another victory here, but Antonio Cromartie did the work in this one. Cashmont also over 100 yards and a touchdown, and a little bit more of a quiet game from DeFazio Combs. And when I say quiet, it's still 89 yards and a touchdown, but Antonio Cromartie with a massive game. 2 picks and the pick 6. With a couple of injuries now heading into our game against Tampa Bay. Lamar Rhodes, cracked leg bone, out 3 weeks. And then we also have Sean Merriman, who's going to be out for what looks to be 1 week with a broken thumb. So rough to miss 2 of our defensive starters, but in this game against the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we traded Mike Vrabel to them. Essentially, the trade we made was Mike Vrabel for Lance Spence, and in the attempt to try to make this a back-to-back Super Bowl winning team, they have loaded up on more veterans as the Buccaneers down by 7, but in scoring position, pass is caught, and he's fighting into the end zone. Touchdown! As it's 17-17, and Washington takes the football back. It's 2nd down and 12, as Gunn will fire one to Santana Moss for the first down. Gain of 16 as we go with the stretch, and he's not going to be able to even get that off. And now it's 2nd down and 14, play action. Gunn, middle, there's Lance Spence, and Spence going to get the first down past the 40-yard line. Now we go with the little keeper. I really like what this play has offered to our offense. A little bit of creativity there as 8 yards is going to set up 3rd down and 2. Quick pass over the middle. Combs with the grab, and that's going to be a first down in the red zone. zone as we're in position to take the lead here. But can we get in the end zone? Yes, we can! Touchdown! And a one-handed grab is going to give us the lead as Tampa Bay needs to come out here and prove that they are the top team in the NFC still after their championship victory. But can they do it? Because Washington is looking more dangerous than they've ever looked before. Pass over the middle. We got the football back. That ball, I think, slipped out. I mean, if there's any rookie season that's going to be a little rough here, how about playing like every single game in the rain? I mean, we're going to be battle tested because the second we get into a dome game, we're going to be able to go crazy as we did against the Rams. But, 3 minutes to play as the interception. I mean, Gunn has not thrown a lot of fourth quarter picks, at least that's a positive. But defense coming up with a stop here. No, it's going to be a first down in the red zone for the Buccaneers. Little over 2 to play as they'll throw and pressure gets in. Sacked. 3rd down and 15, and they can't settle for a field goal here. Pass thrown up in the air. That should have been a pick, but we'll take the 4th down and 15 situation as they'll throw. Stepping up. Pass is caught. He's got the 1st down, and he just got it, and now in position to really tie this game up. Pass is tipped around and incomplete. 2nd down and goal from the 7. They'll run it this time. He's got room. He's got a lane, and he got 5, but still 2 yards to go on 3rd down as they'll throw it a minute and a half to play. Touchdown, Tampa Bay, and the extra point to tie this game up is up, and it's no good. He missed an extra point to tie the game. Are you serious right now? And the kicking, look, it's turning. It's on our side now. He just missed an extra point to tie the game. I do not believe it. Onside kick now for the Bucks. They need the football back as we're going to scoop it up. And we have the football. And not only that, we return it to the 30-yard line. And there's a flag. I guess they were trying to grab at the football, and they grabbed at the face mask instead. This is ridiculous right now as we're keeping it on the ground. One play, Cashmon breaks 3, touchdown. And maybe that wasn't what you want to do there because it's technically a 1-score game, 8-point game, as the Buccaneers, I guess, technically have still a shot in this one, as they are going to get a completion there. We're already at close to midfield, 60 seconds to play, pass on the outside is caught, and things are ridiculous in this one. 47 seconds to go, as they have 46 yards to go, and that pass is going to be knocked away at the line. 3rd down and 3, pass again, outside again, 2 men there, but no one can break it up, and they get the 1st down, but they're in bounds. They use the timeout. They still got 2 left. 30 seconds to go. Pass one-on-one. Intercepted. Ronaldo Moon. And he is going to go down the sidelines. And Ronaldo Moon, he doesn't need to score the touchdown, but he'll take it all the way for the score. And another pick six for this defense. That's what, like the 5th of the season? Something like that. I think it might be 5th or 6th. And, not the best game for Chad Gunn. A lot of yards, touchdowns, but, under 50% completion percentage. He hasn't had many of those games, though. DeFazio Combs with over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the defense got it done in the end. And, I mean, crazy missed extra point. I don't know how the game would have turned out if the extra point went in.
Adam Schefter of NFL Network here with your final report of the college season. Nevada's Andrew Zito continues to impress all the scouts with his play this year. He has Nevada at 9-1 and ranked number 19 in the nation. FSU's DeAndre Miles is making big-time plays for the Noles defense. He has 4 interceptions, and he's returned 2 for touchdowns this month. The national title picture is particularly cloudy at this moment. As many as 5 teams still have a shot at playing in the title game, and that should make for an exciting finish to the regular season. That's all for today. See you at the Senior All-Star Classic game.
And, not everything could be all positive and great because Tommy Harris, I mean, we were looking at a new contract for him, but things are a little rough right now. Tommy Harris at the age of 29, this is something you just kind of deal with the wear and tear of the game of football, and this just happens to players. He is still playing week to week, but he's not playing to the level that he could be because his body is destroyed right now. His leg health is at like 10% each. He's brutalized. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's breaking down physically, and it is not a good sign for us that our big stuffer in the middle, who's done a lot for this team since we've acquired him, is breaking down. But at 10-2, 4 games left on the season, we're looking good, trying to lock up that 1 seed as we take on the New York Giants. First time seeing them this season. It's 24-14, and a win here can separate ourselves from the Giants, not only get us a shot more at the 1 seed, but also the division title, which, I mean, this division arguably has 4 of the 6 best teams in the conference, so winning this division could be winning this conference as the Giants are driving down. We have a 10-point lead, but the Giants inside the 5, they get it down. It's not going to be caught, but it would have only been about a yard anyway. Third down, try the same thing, and they're not going to get their foot in, and it was short anyway again, so 2 times in a row doesn't work. They'll kick the field goal, make it a 1-score game. So it's 24-17. It's the offense takes over. Gunn underneath. Cashmont breaks a tackle, and Calvin Cashmont takes the check down for 11, the first down. Now we give it to him on the ground. Can't make anyone miss that time as they'll lose 2. Third down and 12. Gunn to the air, deep drop, and he'll throw one right at a defender. It's incomplete. Defense has to come back out on the field, and Tommy Harris playing with, I wouldn't even say no legs. He's playing without the ability to move, it feels like. And I mean, credit to him for still playing, as that's going to be a completion for a Steve Smith grab. Not the Panther Steve Smith, the other Steve Smith, if you remember him, as it's going to be a pass now to the 30-yard line. Gain of 20 there, as Manning just finding his receivers open left and right, and they're in the red zone again, ready to tie this game up. Pass is knocked away at the line, though. Third down and 10. As Manning to the air, blitz sent in from the left side, and the deflection, I mean, looked like it could have been picked off, but not gonna be, as the field goal is good. Giants cut it down to 4 with the second field goal as the offense takes over, and trying to get a little bit more confidence in this play. It's not gonna work out, as that's gonna be a loss of 1. So the offense now to the air, potentially play action over the middle. That's going to be broken up. Defense got a hand in there. Third down and 11. We're going to run it. Not going to go anywhere. So the Giants get it back with 4 minutes to play. And now it's a 4-point game. So they get a completion. Plaxico Burress is going to have 14 and a first down to midfield as they'll throw one-on-one. Plaxico Burress, first down and a flag down. And are they going to call that one on Ronaldo Moon? Yes, they will. They'll say pass interference, so doesn't matter. He caught the football regardless, but it's going to be at the 35-yard line now, as that pass is going to be knocked away. Second down and 10, Manning to the air. 35 yards out as they go to Burress again. This time Moon gets the better of them. Third down and 10 as the battle outside between Burress and Moon continues. Burress for the first down. He got him on the out route. As I want to see this matchup even more. Manning to the air. Will he try it again? No. That pass is going to be a check down that I just guess he didn't want to catch. Second down and 10, though. Manning to the air. He'll go over the middle. Knocked away again. Third down and 10. Defense, can he get off the field here? Manning gets sacked, and with 3 minutes to go, they are going to send out the field goal unit again. And they hit the field goal again. But it's still Washington's lead. They were down by 10. 3 field goals. They're still down by 1 with 2 minutes to play now. The play action shot over the middle is going to be called. Lance Spence has it at the 45-yard line, and another first down could potentially end this one. Now it definitely will, with 1 timeout left for the Giants, as they'll go play action to the air. Trusting Gunn again. He's got the completion. Santana Moss for the first down, and try as the Giants may with scoring possessions, ultimately they were just too conservative in the end. Needed to get the touchdown, and the defense wouldn't let them. So 3 field goals leaves them 1 point shy of a victory, and it is going to be Santana Moss with the big day. DeFazio Combs 71 yards and a touchdown, but it was Moss to go over 100. 2 scores. Calais Campbell with the lone sack, and Washington 11-2 on the season. And Tommy Harris, I don't know if he can play anymore. 4% torso, 7% and 9% on his legs. He's struggling to walk. I don't think we're going to be able to not only play him enough or as much as we'd like, but also like probably not going to be able to re-sign him either. I can't justify giving out a 6-year deal to that dude if he's falling apart right now at age 29. So we play the Baltimore Ravens up next. Tennessee Titans also, look at that. The Titans have unbelievably done some crazy things on defense to put up that little amount of points, but still be that good record-wise. So, like I said, playing against the Baltimore Ravens and a little bit of prime time action here. 31-27 is your score, as Washington looking to get to 12-2 on the season, as the Ravens down by 4 in scoring position. They can kick a field goal here to make it down by 1, but they want that touchdown to take the lead, as they'll drop to throw, and it's going to be Flacco. Looking, time, a lot of it, and he's going to have a completion inside the 15. Down to the 13 is Flacco. Quick pass, intercepted, and it's going to be taken the other way, and even though he ran through the middle, he's going to get by everybody, and it's Ronaldo Moon again, and they're going back and forth. Him and Antonio Cromartie trying to see who can get more clutch pick sixes, as Ronaldo Moon has this one. I think they're at 3 apiece this season, and Flacco almost got intercepted again, down by 11. They're gonna punt the football on 4th down and 2, so interesting decision there, but 6 minutes to play. They trust their defense to do something about it, as Moss will not get really anything on the return, but there will be a flag down. So even though the field position for us wasn't going to be anything crazy, it's going to be set back a lot worse for us, as we're going to be down at our own 14-yard line, as we'll hand the football off. And here goes Cashmon, breaks a tackle, gets a block from Combs, and Calvin Cashmon gets to the open field, and Cashmon all the way to close to midfield, and a gain of 34 on the play, as it's going to be gun to the air. That's DeFazio Combs leaping up and bringing that one in, as he comes down to the ground with another big grab, and Combs having could be a career year at this point. How about a little play action? Cashmont takes the fake, and then they go on a rollout. That's going to be D'Antonio with the grab for the 8-yard gain, getting us close. 3rd down and inches now after a little run. They get it to Cashmon. Direct snap and a 1st down and goal situation. Chance to go up by 3 scores. Check down. Cashmon, that's actually going to be Metcalf coming in. All right, getting Metcalf the ball a little bit. He stays in the game. 2nd down and goal. They go to Combs. Touchdown. DeFazio Combs again. And DeFazio Combs is inching closer and closer to record-breaking amounts of touchdowns this season. I mean, he's closing in on 20 for the year. 4th down, and Flacco comes up short, as this game is getting out of hand, as it's going to be Cashmon. How about another score, running it up a little bit more. Final score is 52-27, as it is a dominant 4th quarter against a really good Ravens team. Cashmon has a career day, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, and DeFazio Combs with another 171 yard and a touchdown performance. It is DeFazio Combs' league right now when it comes to receiver production. It feels like Washington has essentially clinched the division. I mean, they're tied with the Giants if they win out and then we lose out, so technically we could lose the division, but we already got 1 victory over the Giants. I think we'll have the division record. We essentially are just playing for a 1st round bye in this game against the Dallas Cowboys to essentially clinch the 1 seed. It's going to be pretty dominant, it looks like. 42-24 with 5 minutes to play. Doesn't really feel like we need to hop into this one, as Dallas at the 1-yard line, they finally do score. With 4 minutes to play, they're down by 12. We get the football back, and we're just going to continue on simming. I could hop in up by 12 with 4 minutes to play, but I think the team's got the job done here. They got 42 points on the board. They take off a minute on the clock. Under 3 minutes to play, and there it is. Brady Weidenhofer with an interception in Dallas territory. We get the football back. We get to continue to run the football out, and even though it is 4th down, we hit the field goal. 45-32 is your score with a minute 30 to go, and Dallas will drive down the field, get a touchdown with a minute to play, but with just no room for error. They can't get the onside kick. They don't have enough timeouts to stop us, and Gunn will kneel the football. They have 6 seconds, and we win the game. So, maybe I could have hopped into that one. It did get a little close at the end, but Chad Gunn throws for 4 touchdowns, 338 yards on the day. Chad Gunn has really come into his own, just really gotten comfortable with this offense. And DeFazio Combs, how about his biggest game of the season to surpass 20 touchdowns on the year, 216 yards. And in the final game of the season, it doesn't really feel like I need to go very far and do very much for this team. So I played the starters a little bit, but second half I benched them. We clinched the 1 seed already, basically. So we already have the division. We got the 1 seed. We got everything we need. I don't want to risk injury, especially when we have players like Tommy Harris, who is, on his last legs, it feels like. And you got older players like Santana Moss, and you got some older guys. I mean, Antonio Cromartie's like 29 years old. We have Thomas Howard, Sean Merriman's injury prone. I don't want to risk injury with these guys. We got our first round bye. We don't really care. Even if there is like a small chance that we could fall the 2 seed, I don't really care. I want the first round bye. I want the rest for the players. That is what I'm prioritizing. So the Giants are going to smack us around in the final week of the season, but that doesn't really bother me all that much. It's 21-0. Could we have won this game if we put on our starters? Of course, but we're letting what is it? We have like Byron Leftwich is our number 2 quarterback, or David Garrard or something. I don't know, one of the Jaguar QBs. We have one of them there. No disrespect to him, but we got one of them in. We got Metcalf in there running the football. We got whoever else, but we lose this game 21-0, and it was Byron Leftwich. Okay, I was right with my first one, but yeah, we played the starters for like the first half. Gunn didn't do anything crazy. I just wanted to see if we could maybe get out in front in the first half and cruise in the second half, but no, 13-3, 14-2 does not matter to me, but even still, Santana Moss put up 4 grabs in the first half. Lance Spence had 49 yards. We did get a Merriman sack, so he came in, did his thing. But yeah, we did get the 1 seed. Vikings lost. We had the tiebreaker over the Buccaneers regardless, and, they ended up winning, but they didn't have enough wins. Giants, we had the tiebreakers over them. But look at the Seahawks. Jared May sneaks in as the 6th seed, and what's hilarious here, Jared May has snuck in at the 6th seed. If the Seahawks win their wild card game against the 3 seed, we get to face off against Jared May in the playoffs, which would be absolutely crazy. But he has to take down the Buccaneers. He would have to take down the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and our playoff matchup will be up against Jared May. You can't make this up. Jared May, it's time we show you what he did on the season, and my goodness, I don't think I could handle this. He threw 40 touchdowns, great, career high. He threw 31 interceptions, also a career high. So it seemed like Seattle just decided, you know what, we're just going to embrace what he is as a quarterback, and we're just going to let it fly, which, hey, good for you. He completed a lot higher percentage of his passes, but he also completed a lot more passes to the other team. Me personally, I just could not deal with that. I could not deal with 31 interceptions, but he put up a lot of yards and touchdowns. After that second season with Jared May, I tried to turn him into something he wasn't, and that was a good quarterback, I guess. The Seahawks just decided to embrace what he is, turnover happy. They'll take the good with the bad. Hey, you can have all that. I don't want to deal with 30 interceptions. But, I mean, he took him to the playoffs, got a very productive Malachi Cribbs, 2 1,000-yard receivers, and they took out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 37-18. So, I guess in that sense, you can say the year was a success for Jared May, because he did set career highs in everything. Some of the good stats and the bad stats. But he put up 3 touchdowns, 270 yards, and maybe if he gets his revenge on us, he'll prove me wrong. If he goes out and torches us, I'm going to cry. But here we are. We get midway through the third quarter, so it was looking pretty bad for the Seahawks at first. It was 24-6 at half, but they go score a touchdown to start the second half and then stop us. They have the football back. So let's see what Jared May versus Chad Gunn looks like. May off his back foot, going to be caught. Gain of 5, and it's going to be 3rd down and 7. May, play action as he'll throw over the middle. That pass is going to be right at a defender, knocked away. Chad Gunn takes over. up by 11. He'll throw to an open man, little behind his receiver, but Santana Moss brings it in. It's going to be a handoff now to the edge. There it goes in the backfield for a loss of 4 as Gunn now 2nd and 14. Throwing to Combs, it's going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 14. Pass by Gunn, going to be way short of the sticks. They'll just take that one to the defense side of the football and let Jared May come out here. So what we're betting on, hey, you're down by 11. Jared May loves putting his team in a hole and then doing desperate things to dig his team out of the hole that he put his team in. So we're betting on him to probably throw a pick, and that should have been one, but we're betting on him to throw a pick eventually as May down the field. That's going to be caught. And he dropped that interception 2 plays ago. That one hurt. But May gets tackled in the backfield. No handoff for you as they go to the end of the 3rd quarter. Just a minute to play. Intercepted. And right on cue, it's Weidenhofer. He gets free. And Brady Weidenhofer. And right on cue, a Jared May pick 6 in Washington Stadium. But this time, it's for us. And we have a 3-score lead. And that is just bringing back old memories. It was only a year ago that this was happening, but now it's happening in a Seattle jersey. Have fun with him, 12th man, as it's going to be a completion there. May, like I said, trying to dig his team out of a hole he created. 4th quarter underway. Pass is going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 11, needing to get 3 touchdowns on the board. He's firing one-on-one, caught, and that's also what May will do. He'll put up a lot of yards because he'll sling that football down the field time after time, and eventually his receivers will come up with it as he gets 8 yards there. 2nd down and 2. May is going to throw for the end zone. Caught. He got in. Touchdown, 2-point conversion to cut it to a 10-point game. Pass is going to be incomplete, and we maintain a 12-point lead as we get going on the ground, and then a fumble on the first play of the drive. And come on, don't give Jared May a chance at this one. Do not lose to Jared May, guys, please. Cashmont putting the ball on the ground. Just stay calm, guys. Stay calm. I just want to see, just to make sure it was a fumble. As you see Cashmont taking the football, it's clear as day a fumble. So Jared May has been given an opportunity to make a comeback in this game. He'll throw the football on a slant route. That's going to be incomplete. That's 2nd and 10. May to the air. He'll throw one in double coverage. Caught inside the 10, down to the 9, and Jared May is got it inside the 10, but he gets sacked. Calais Campbell got in there. 2nd and goal from the 12. May floating one. It's caught. No, knocked away. That was a dangerous ball. 3rd down and goal from the 12. May, and it's floated up in the air. Intercepted again. Jared May throws it away, and it's gonna be Washington football. And Jared May, I think the fans are loving this now. It's rare that they got to see Jared May throw good interceptions for Washington, but they're getting to see it now, and this is revenge for all the misery he costed us. All like 60 picks that he threw all in those 3 years for us. As 3rd down and 9, as it is going to be Gunn up top. DeFazio Combs can't bring it in, and we give Jared May another shot at it. May has got the football, handing it off for a nice gain right there. Good run. But they're down by 2 scores, but under 5 to go. You got to go to the air. May has his pass swatted at the line. Calais Campbell got in. 3rd down and 10, and they're blowing up. They tried to run the football. They fumble the ball. They jump on it, but Jared May has 4th and 11, and he's got an open man. Jared May trying to pull his team back into it as he's got an open man there. Completion, fumble, Washington football, and Washington is going to get another turnover. This one not on Jared May, rare, but still our ball back, and that's going to be Cashmont for the 1st down on the ground. It's going to be 3.5 to go. Trying to run out the rest of this clock and end Jared May's playoff hopes and dreams in perfect fashion, as that's going to be a sack on Gunn, and it'll be 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 16 as he'll throw over the middle. We'll just concede that one as we'll give Jared May the football back with 1.5 to go. This is prime Jared May desperation territory. We know what's going to happen here. He's going to give us a couple of opportunities at the football. May is going to go over the middle. That pass is going to be knocked away. Good job there. 2nd down turns to 3rd down. May off his back foot. That's going to be completed. And with 1 minute to go, 1 timeout, needing a score badly, they keep the drive going. They keep things alive. 47 seconds to play. May from the 26 He's going to float one down the field. Caught. And Jared May to the 4-yard line. Can they get themselves in a chance to kick an onside kick off his back foot? And right to Antonio Cromartie. Intercepted again. Jared May did it again. And I don't care. You can throw for 145 yards. But you know what? You can throw for 370, but we'll take the 4 picks. I'll take the quarterback who threw for 150 yards, but actually played winning football. You can have your 340 yards. We'll take those 4 interceptions, and we'll turn that into a victory where we're on to the conference championship. And our opponent waiting for us on the other side to be determined, but Antonio Cromartie, Weidenhofer, Sean Merriman all getting interceptions. Cromartie got 2, and our opponent in the conference championship is the Minnesota Vikings. So it'll be 1 versus 2 in the seeding. These 2 teams are pretty evenly matched. The Vikings are really good. So interestingly enough as well, Adrian Peterson has had a brutal career in this franchise mode. We'll get to that in a second, but you can see this team's really good. Jared Allen, I mean, they got, oh my goodness, they got Kevin Williams and Antoine Winfield, and Cedric Griffin's become a nice player, and they got a lot of really nice players. But look at Adrian Peterson. He was doing his thing. Then 2009, he gets hurt, goes out. Then in 2010, doesn't play a single game because he blew his knee out. 2011, then blows his knee out again and has not played since. He's blown his knee out like 2 or 3 times in this dynasty mode, or in this franchise, and it's been ridiculous. So poor Adrian Peterson's had a horrible fate in this one, but it is a Washington and Minnesota snowy game here in the conference championship. 1 step away from the Super Bowl. 13-14 is your score as Washington has got a false start here to set them back. 2nd down and 7. And what a story it would be for Chad Gunn to take us to a Super Bowl in his rookie season, as D'Antonio has the 1st down grab. Now we go with the play we tried to run but got a false start on as Cashman on the keeper. It's going to be tackled by Jared Allen for a gain of 7. Sets up 3rd down and 3. As in the pocket, he just stood there and delivered the 1st down in the face of a defender just falling right at his feet, as Gunn has got time outside. That's caught for Santana Moss. Gain of 9 and 3rd down and 1. He gives it to the fullback. And look at the fullback cutting it to the outside. And looking good, getting 9 on the carry, tossing it out as we get a broken tackle. Touchdown Washington, and we're up by 8 with the extra point, as Washington now in the 4th quarter kicking things off with the completion broken up. And Washington, the defense, can they hold on here? That was almost picked off, and that probably should have been. Cromartie could have had a pick 6 again, as that pass is going to be caught. They hang on to keep the drive going. 7.5 to go. Tackled in the backfield, as it is 7:14 to play, and it'll be a throw outside. And again, maybe Moon could have had a chance to break on that football, but he didn't quite get there. Counter run, defense chasing, defense has him down, and we get the football back as that pass, oh my goodness, Kevin Williams just blew that play up in the backfield. And now, how about just backing us up even more? How about 2nd and 14 turning to 2nd and 19? And we got a long way to go. 84 yards of field in front of us, as that's going to be a pass caught. Santana Moss, defender missed. Santana Moss, he's still got the speed. He might be past 30 years old, but he's still speeding down the field. Touchdown, Washington, from 84 yards out, and a 2-score lead for Washington. So close to a Super Bowl appearance. Chad Gunn has delivered, but you can see here, I went to skip and just go the extra point. You know, I was speeding things up a little bit. We missed the extra point in the sim. If someone in the comment section also told me, like, hey, you should, like, sim the extra points or something so you don't miss as many. Well, we missed the extra point in the sim still. Okay, calm down, though. Just calm down. We're still up by 14. It's okay. As we got the pass broken up there. 3rd down and 8. As 5 to play. It's going to be a pass up top, and he couldn't hang on. 4th down and 8. They punt the football. I understand that you want to trust your defense, but after allowing an 84-yard score, I don't know if I want to see Santana Moss with the football again, because look at Moss go. He's been here for so long. He wants this team to go to a Super Bowl, and I don't think anyone's putting in more effort than Santana Moss right now, as look at our running back sliding in the snow. He actually slid and slipped in the snow, as it is going to be a carry for Another short gain. 3rd down and 7. It's gonna be Gunn outside, and it's caught, but he didn't get the foot in bounds. He needed another one. Run play, not gonna go anywhere. You can't afford to run the football if you're the Vikings very much. 3.5 to play. Outside, pass is caught, and that'll set him up with 3rd down and 3 after the 10-yard gain. But the Vikings in desperation mode, needing big plays, and they have a 1st down there. Keep the drive alive, and past midfield go Minnesota, as they need to hurry things up. Under 3 to go, as Minnesota outside on the curl route. He's got the completion, and he gets by a defender, diving and missing, and he's gonna go for the score. Minnesota pulls within 1 score. Can the offense do what they need to do to put this away? Well, that run play is only gonna get us 3. Minnesota's run defense has been pretty dang good right now. Screen outside, trying to catch him off guard. Not gonna work. 3rd down and 11. Now at this point, just wanting us to run the clock a bit. We almost got there with the 1st down carry, but it's going to be a gain of 8. We'll punt the football. Under 2 minutes to play. Minnesota down to 2 timeouts, and they are going to have room on this return. Past the 35, 40, and he's getting close to midfield, and a good return here as he gets close to midfield. Minnesota can pull off this comeback to tie the game up, and that missed extra point could really cost us, as that's a completion. It's 36-yard line. Minnesota with 1:30 to play. Time in the pocket. Outside. Pass should have been picked, and he couldn't hang on. And it's 2nd down as he's throwing to the outside right over a defender's head, and he makes a miss, and he's getting to the middle of the field, and he has it. 21 yards inside the 15. Minnesota with 1:14 to play. Another completion. Upended at the 2. Under a minute to play. Minnesota for the tie. End zone. Incomplete. He had a chance at that one. 54 seconds, quick slant, touchdown Minnesota, and we could be going to overtime as it's going to be an extra point. It is good. Washington was up by 14 and now has 50 seconds to try to come out and win this game in regulation. That missed extra point really could come back to hurt us as they're going to have the return. It's going to be Cromartie on the return. This one is not going to be anything special here. We'll have it at the 28-yard line as we will go with the play action. It's going to be Chad Gunn throwing across the field. Chad Gunn delivers, and that's Lance Spence. Gunn, this is your chance to prove if you are the clutch quarterback we drafted you to be. Completed. Santana Moss hung on. Santana Moss trying to will this team into field goal range. Throw on the run, and Santana Moss again, and we're in field goal range. A clutch kick in the snow is anything but reliable, but clock ticking, 15 seconds to go. We have 1 timeout, maybe 1 play to get us a little bit closer. Gunn, 10 seconds to go, rolling right. He's gonna throw for it all. Combs, touchdown, DeFazio Combs. He went for it all, and DeFazio Combs with 7 seconds to play might have just taken us to a Super Bowl appearance. And with 7 seconds to go, you did not need to go for it all, but Chad Gunn wanted to be the hero today, and he might just be it as Minnesota past the 30-yard line on the kick return. They got 1 play to go and a chance to go to the Super Bowl. 2 seconds to play. They need to go 68 yards, needing a miracle. He's going to throw for a completion, but just bring him down, and we do. We are going to a Super Bowl appearance. Washington has pulled it off, and they go from 1 seed to conference champions, and we have a date in the Super Bowl waiting for us behind the arm of Chad Gunn, who played a great game and delivered the game-winning touchdown. I was scared when a potential field goal opportunity presented itself, and I had seen so many heartbreaks due to kicks in the past where we missed the extra point earlier. We had some bad misses throughout the season, but when he delivers that touchdown, it's like we don't even have to worry about the field goal kicking anymore. We just get it all in 1 play, and what a job from Chad Gunn. Just proving he was clutch, proving he was the guy for us, and in 1 year, he has, I think, vindicated me a little bit to know that I think we made the right decision regardless of the outcome here. But what will it be? It will be actually the Indianapolis Colts, who, man, that is a tough draw because the Indianapolis Colts are a dynasty in this game as Peyton Manning is riding high to another Super Bowl appearance. Yeah, everything Tom Brady is, Peyton Manning became in this dynasty franchise game, because the Colts are a cheat code, basically. As you can see the roster they have here. And look at that, Marcus Long was on that roster. They got Aaron Rodgers as a backup. They got Aaron Rodgers as their backup QB. Like, what the heck is this team? You got Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers in the same QB room. That is ridiculous. Top of that, you got Anthony Gonzalez. You got Reggie Wayne still sticking around here. I mean, Jeremy Shockey in at tight end. Still really good team, though. Offensive line's looking pretty nice. And again, this is, not even taking into account the fact that these players, like, they're only looking at them from the perspective of my scheme fit. I would imagine if you switch them all to their scheme fits, their team probably looks even more crazy. But Marcus Long, undrafted player for us. We traded him. He signs with the Colts, and he's having himself a nice little run here. And this is just a really good team behind a legendary quarterback and a legendary coaching staff. And we also have a Bob Sanders without ever getting injured. But you could see what this team has done under Tony Dungy. I mean, my goodness, they are 3-0 in Super Bowls just in his time here. It is legit dynasty stuff here, as it is a conference championship victory, obviously, this year. They made the playoffs last year, didn't go far. Super Bowl, playoff appearance, Super Bowl. Like, they have won 3 of the last 7 Super Bowls, and this one's still to be determined. And if they win this one, this would be their 3rd Super Bowl win in 4 years. A legit dynasty. So we are the last hope to stop a Peyton Manning 3 rings in 4 years dynasty, as it is not looking good. We hop into a full second half of the Super Bowl. It is 17-3, and Peyton Manning has the football in this one as he misses a pass there. But it has been a rough day so far for this offense as Manning gets sacked, and it'll be 3rd down and 18. Injury as well for this team, as it will be a potentially bad one for us, as it will be on the member of the defense, Michael Poe, out for a game. But still, Calais Campbell getting the sack, and the rest of his defense intact. 3rd down and 18 for Manning, who has the 1st down completion, and Reggie Wayne converts, as that will be a false start up next. But yeah, the offense has played a rough game. I mean, their defense is really good, and Peyton Manning, I mean, at this point knows how to play offense better than just about anyone, not just managing the game, but being able to provide big plays and big moments, as it is going to be Manning over the middle, incomplete. Colts will punt, and we'll see if this offense can finally get going a little bit, as Moss will field it at the 40-yard line. Moss gets the return, and he spins off a defender. Santana Moss right up the middle with the punter to be. Santana Moss, he's too fast for him. Santana Moss taunting from the 10. Touchdown, Santana Moss. And it's a Super Bowl punt return touchdown, as he had not been returning any touchdowns all year. But in the biggest moment, on the biggest stage, it's been Santana Moss, 2 games in a row, making huge plays, as one Reggie Wayne big pass completion takes him all the way into scoring position. But we have life, and we have a little bit of hope right now. On top of that, the Colts will get set back a little bit, it looks like. That's going to be a penalty holding, as Tommy Harris also playing through a lot of ailments in this one to try to win a Super Bowl, as it'll be a completion, low pass, but a good one to get it for 3rd and 1. It's going to be Manning. Corner on the outside, knocked away. Great play. Was that Braylon Beaudrew that might have come up with that one? As the kick, that's an embarrassing Super Bowl kick. Come on, from 42, and it's short. And, there was a kick like that earlier. I just wanted to see this time. Who the heck is their kicker? It's Chris Brown from 42 yards. He couldn't hit that. Well, what the heck is Chris Brown's kick power? He is a legit kicker, 83 overall. He's not a bum, but my goodness, what the heck is this? 75 kick power, and you can't even come close from 42. Well, we'll take that. We will absolutely take that, as it's a 1-score game, and finally we get to see what the offense can do in this situation. Gunn will go with the play action. He will have time. He'll throw underneath, check down, and it will be a nice little gain to start the drive off. Gain of 7 as we go to 2nd and 3. Play action. Gunn has time again. Outside, that's going to be caught. Tight pass. A little dangerous, but we got it completed for the first down. Now play action, rolling out, Gunn, floating one deep, one-on-one, Combs caught it! DeFazio Combs inside the 20, and we could tie this game up. Just 16 yards out as the draw gets destroyed in the backfield, 2nd and 12. Gunn is going to go outside. Combs can't bring that in. 3 defenders were there. I'm probably scared of Bob Sanders. 3rd down and 12. Gunn with time. He's going to look to the outside. Intercepted. No! He tried to get it to Moss, and that was just forcing it. And that's not something that Gunn has done very much this season, is force it. But, I mean, the Super Bowl jitters for a rookie probably are there, and it's going to result in Peyton Manning with the football, and he's going to have a completion to Reggie Wayne, who's just hanging on to everything. Typical Reggie Wayne, as it's going to be a catch for Anthony Gonzalez now to the midfield stripe, and Manning to throw outside, and guess who? Reggie Wayne again! Trying to make a case for Super Bowl MVP if they can pull this one off. Reggie Wayne, completion, making a man miss. Reggie Wayne for the first down, and what a game for Reggie Wayne, as it's going to be Manning over the middle, breaking a tackle, tight end, Jeremy Shockey, touchdown. And now they're up 24-10. Moss is going to see what he could do on a kick return again. He had the punt return touchdown, but Santana Moss gets a solid kick return to the 43 as the 3rd quarter winding down. And we're going to see if we could do something here. The offense needs to get going. No touchdowns for them so far. It's been just really brutal. They do have a flag down. It's going to be on the offense too, holding. As if we didn't need another setback, as it's going to be 2nd and 14. Pass to Combs. He can't bring that one in. Tough one to grab. 3rd down and 14 as it's Gunn throwing down the field, knocked away, and we'll punt it. 3rd quarter winding down, but this is not the time to have our worst offensive performance. But I mean, I guess it coincides with facing arguably the best defense in the league. You give Peyton Manning one of the best defenses, and look what happens. He's going and created a dynasty, but we need to try to overcome that. But when you got a 15-plus year vet, top 5 QB of all time against a rookie, it's definitely a little mismatch in the psychological standpoint of things, as with the 3rd quarter winding down, last play, we will get the stop to force 3rd down and 2 to kick off the 4th quarter. It's going to be a stop in the backfield. O'Dye can't get there, and it will be our football. Gunn, what has he got for us? A sack! And that is brutal. 2nd and 14. Throwing one to Santana Moss. Can't bring it in. He got lit up. This hard-hitting safety duo is brutal for our receivers, as that pass is going to be completed. DeFazio Combs coming out there to get us to a 4th and 2, and we're going for it. I know we could punt it, but I want to put something together on offense, and that's going to be completed. We needed that one badly. And now we get to keep the drive going with 7 minutes to play. That could be one of those defining moments to help us spark a comeback. Here is DeFazio Combs past midfield, and he's got it to the 46-yard line, as now dropping to throw it. Gunn, he'll try it deep over the seam. Tipped again. Intercepted. Come on. Double tip pick, as it was off the hands of D'Antonio, off the hands of a defender, and then picked off. That's just unlucky. And that is an interception, where Indianapolis has 6 minutes to go to try to survive and win a Super Bowl here to get Peyton Manning his, 4th ring of his career, and 3rd in 4 years, as it's going to be Reggie Wayne again. He is just eating our corners alive, as it's going to be Manning. Reggie Wayne again. Wayne inside the 40 to the 36. And now they're going to go play action, and that's going to be a completion to another open man. Manning is just dicing up this team and proving why he is the all-time great that he is. Reggie Wayne again. 1st down, goal to go, 3 minutes to play. Manning, end zone, Reggie Wayne, touchdown again. And Manning has the Colts up by 3 scores. And we might need a miracle if we're going to try to win this Super Bowl, as the return is going to net us past the 30, past the 40, and right at about midfield, so we'll have good field position again. But, I mean, it's just been brutal, as it's going to be Chad Gunn, incomplete. And 4th down and 10 has now hit. 3 minutes to play. Up in the air. It's caught for Combs. So he's having a big day, but it's not resulting in offensive success, as Gunn over the middle. Incomplete. 4th down again with 2 minutes to play. And Gunn, middle. It's incomplete. And Washington turns it over on downs, and a big run now for this Colts team. And it's looking like it is all but over right now as breaking tackles make it 2. He's breaking a 3rd and another brutal play. And that's going to basically result in the end of the Super Bowl dreams for Washington. And they, of course, score a touchdown to run up the score a little bit with 3 seconds to go. So your final 38-10. And Peyton Manning gets another ring. So, I mean, his team played its worst game of the season in the biggest stage. And I think this is definitely one of those games where you could say, well, one team has been here many times. One team has gotten their 4th ring. And this team has never had a single member of its roster make a Super Bowl, basically, except what Tommy Harris did. Tommy Harris did in Chicago, but Tommy Harris is also playing on, like, no legs. Reggie Wayne, 16 catches for 217 yards. Are you kidding me right there? That is ridiculous. An unbelievable game for Reggie Wayne. Peyton Manning, 3 touchdowns, over 400 yards. He threw 2 picks, but, man, that is brutal. And we lose the Super Bowl. But I can't be all negative here. Look at what Chad Gunn did as a rookie, and these numbers are really impressive. And there is even more numbers that really put into perspective how awesome this season was. I mean, 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, so a great touchdown-interception ratio. Over 4,000 yards. Yeah, he had some bad performances, and maybe he had his worst performance in the Super Bowl, but I mean, it's a rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl. That's hard enough to get to in the first place, but 7 games without a interception, only 2 games below 50% completion percentage, which, you know, Jared May, like half of his games are below that. Cashmont, again, the fumbling is a concern, but he had another really productive season. We gave him more carries. He gave us more yards and more yards per carry, but the 6 fumbles are really brutal. We need to clean those up. So Metcalf did not do very well in his opportunities, but look at DeFazio Combs. Literally putting himself nearly in the record books with this season. 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns on the season. He was special all year long. And look at how many games. There's 6 games of 150 plus, like 10 games of 100 plus. Every single game on the season except the Super Bowl, he had a touchdown. At least one. Every single game. That is unbelievable. Santana Moss was pretty effective, you know, maybe slipping into sort of a number 3 receiver role a little bit. Lance Spence was pretty awesome as a rookie. I mean, he kind of, you know, slid into being a little overshadowed at times because DeFazio Combs is doing everything, but I mean, good receiving production all around. Calais Campbell was awesome, 9 sacks. Tommy Harris was really good despite being, you know, at 2% health, it feels like. Interceptions were spectacular because even though we didn't grab like a crazy amount, we're not going to be at the top of the league. How about 7 of them being pick sixes? That is definitely going to be number 1 in the NFL. And it was just awesome, game-changing plays on defense. I'd like to do a little bit better with some of these missed tackles, but I mean, just awesome stuff from this team overall. And look at the completion percentage allowed, 41% and 38%. Like, Moon and Cromartie were locked down. They had cumulatively allowed less touchdowns than they scored. Cromartie and Ronaldo Moon allowed combined 4 touchdowns. In pick sixes, they scored 6. Are you serious? If you got a cornerback duo who's outscoring the opposing receiver, that is special. Jared May comes out here and, you know, you want to compare him to Chad Gunn. He had more yards just slightly, but, I mean, it's pretty clear. Chad Gunn is the better quarterback, and I think we made the right decision. Yeah, a little less yards, a little less touchdowns, but Jared May led the league in picks. To put that into perspective, last year, I got that dude Jared May to only throw 13 picks. I am a miracle worker for that one. He led the league in picks as soon as he left me. I am a miracle worker to get that dude all the way down there. So when it comes to the interceptions, Chad Gunn, I mean, bottom 5 in the league when it comes to the amount of turnovers he put forth. 12 interceptions is spectacular in this point, like in this game, in this era. Amazing. Also, yards per attempt, up there. spectacular. Sacks, he didn't take sacks either. We have the great offensive line, but even then, Jared May last year took 34 sacks. He took less in Seattle, but he took 34 sacks. We get Chad Gunn in there, who's got the mobility of literally a potato, and he didn't get sacked as much. This is also a big one here. Thrown into coverage. Chad Gunn threw the ball into coverage significantly less than any quarterback in the entire league. All these quarterbacks are thrown into coverage 60, 70% of the time. And in coverage is just a defender in the vicinity. You know, like, it doesn't need to be, like, tight coverage, but still. He threw the football 15% less than any other quarterback, basically, in coverage. He was finding open receivers better than any quarterback in the entire league. Now, you do have to probably acknowledge that we probably had a lot of open receivers as well, but, I mean, the percentage to be that big of a difference from anybody else, amazing. Cashmont ends up 4th in the league in rushing yards, so really productive season there. And it wasn't like we were just force-feeding him the ball. He was still top 10 in carries, but not 4th, so he outperformed the amount of carries. He had 11 touchdowns. 6 fumbles is a lot, but I mean, the top running backs, I mean, he's top 10 in fumbles, but 7 and 9 are up there. So Cashmont still did have a nice season, had a nice amount of chunk plays, but just clean up the fumbles and get some more consistency, and we are good. And this is a stunner. What the heck is this? 2,100 yards for Hines Ward. We had him on our team last year, and he was at the end of his career. He goes to Denver and has the best year of his life. What the heck is this? He had like 70 speed when he was on our team. I need to know what scheme the Broncos are out here running where they can get him 2,000 yards and 19 touchdowns. And not only that, he didn't have 76 speed. This dude is sitting here with 68 speed because he's 36 years old. He's old as dirt. 68 speed. And he had 2,000 yards. I mean, yeah, he could catch the football, but my goodness, Hines Ward, what the heck is that? But DeFazio Combs did end up coming 2nd in yards, 1st in touchdowns. But look at the drops, 14 drops. They do classify drops in this game a little harshly. They basically just say if the pass hits your hands in the slightest or it is catchable in the slightest, it's a drop, which, you know, not always fair if a defender like swats that football out or makes a good play on the football, but, you know, 14 drops considering everything. Good stuff there. You know, sack production, we weren't at the top. Interceptions, we didn't have interception leaders, but I definitely can imagine we had most touchdowns on defense. Forced fumbles, and decent amount of forced fumbles there for some of these players, but touchdowns, yeah, no one had multiple other than Moon and Cromartie, so that is an anomaly. I doubt we'll see something like that happen again. And I mean, has that ever happened in NFL history? Like 2 cornerbacks outscoring their opposing wide receivers in touchdowns? That's insane. Like, that is probably the craziest stat of the season. 2 blocks for some of these players as well. Look at that. But yeah, I mean, we also got to go to the team stats where we were very much back on offense. The 3rd points per game in offense, and obviously we're not touching the Raiders because their offense is literally a glitch. But I mean, I'd like to match up against the Raiders again with Chad Gunn at quarterback. We were top 10 in offense. Passing yards, we were up there. Rushing yards as well, we were up there. Not like we weren't number 1 in anything, but you definitely can see where the vision is for this team and where we're headed. And I think we're headed in a great spot with Chad Gunn coming off his rookie season doing that. The Lions, yikes, it didn't work out for the Lions. Their little strategy, maybe they should have drafted Chad Gunn because they were not good, but they did have the best scoring defense in the league, so credit to the Lions. It's impressive. Interceptions, yeah, like I said, we weren't like top of the league, but we were up there. Sacks weren't top of the league, but cumulatively we were respectable. Defensive touchdowns, yeah, we were incredible there. Those 7 touchdowns on defense is insane. Like I said, I don't anticipate something like that happening again, but conversions, 3rd down, we were again like very much up there. Like, we never led the league in like any of these categories basically, but we were top 10 in like everything. We were just so effective. We didn't have a lot of weaknesses, we didn't have a lot of mistakes, we didn't have a lot of negatives, but man, this team just was so much different on offense with Chad Gunn. Like, it just felt different. You felt safer. You felt like you could actually do something and not have to handicap him. I was able to open up the offense the way I wanted to a little bit more, run some more plays, and I plan to do even more of that. I added some new plays to the playbook this season that I unveiled, and you maybe didn't even notice them because like everything just ran so smoothly. Everything ran so well. I was able to actually get it this time. The Pro Bowl voting, it's so weird how they do it, like at the point in time where you're not allowed to look at it after the season, but Chad Gunn was the #1 quarterback for the Pro Bowl. Overwhelmingly, it was DeFazio Combs at wide receiver for the NFC. We also had a fullback make it. I do think we kind of got robbed a little bit of some Pro Bowlers. Travion Davis made it, but none of our other offensive linemen made it, which is interesting. No Calais Campbell, interesting. Tommy Harris, I at least understand that one. None of our linebackers, though, made it. Neither of their corners made it. Weidenhofer did, but Laron Landry didn't. Interesting. I think you could have made the argument that both of our corners should have made it. Laron Landry could have made it. Like, I thought Weidenhofer, he was pretty nice, but I think he was the worst of our 4 main secondary members, and he's the one who made it. Interesting. Yearly awards. So, Luke Rambis is, like, the greatest quarterback of all time, basically. I mean, he's not won a Super Bowl or anything yet, but, I mean, dude, crazy stuff from him. But, DeFazio Combs almost won Offensive Player of the Year. He was in the MVP running and everything, but look at Luke Rambis. He's won the MVP, like, every year. He's thrown for 24,000 yards in his first 4 years and 216 touchdowns, so... yeah, like the greatest quarterback ever. But Combs almost won Offensive Player of the Year, and we had Chad Gunn in MVP talks as a rookie. He won Rookie of the Year. No surprise there. Lance Spence, too, sneaking in at number 5. Joker Davis, who, awesome player. Like, I mean, I love Joker Davis. If I can go and get him one day, I'll be happy. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, nothing really here. Anthony Hall did sneak in. He was an undrafted rookie, so credit there. Chad Gunn, second and best QB. I don't know if we're ever going to touch Rambis. Like, Luke Rambis might just monopolize that award. But DeFazio Combs gets best receiver over Hines Ward. I think that's pretty cool. You know, he won best receiver over a dude who had 2,000 plus yards. So he can let me know if he deserved that one or not. I think he maybe did. The 22 touchdowns will help out. Coach of the Year, though, I didn't win it. I know the Raiders went 14-2, but man, I could have won Coach of the Year maybe. But obviously they want us to stay. When it comes to the coaching changes, there's not gonna be much. If I can, would probably prefer to bring basically everybody back and just keep on upgrading from within. But I know after making the Super Bowl, you know how it goes. A team succeeds, a team makes a Super Bowl, a team gets some guys on the map, and those teams get poached for their talent. And I would imagine if anybody's going to get poached for their, abilities to potentially be a head coach, maybe Butch does. He's been our offensive coordinator for a while. And I do think basically any member of our defensive staff after the turnaround we have done on defense, maybe Sardisco isn't there yet because he's not the highest overall, but I mean, look at some of the abilities and skills that we are getting for this team. Some good stuff here. Defensive back discipline. Yeah, let's get that. Let's make our defensive backs even better. And that was like the big thing. Our defensive backs have done such a 180 because Sardisco, defensive back specialist, and we brought in Todd Bowles as our DB coach. Well, what's the best part of our team right now? Arguably the DBs. So the turnaround has been spectacular, and the coaching, like, it very much matters who you have there. We have good players, but we don't got like 95 overalls out there. We got 288s, a 90, and an 84 or something like that. Like, I don't know what Weidenhofer is, but we don't got like crazy overalls. Our highest is Laron Landry and 288 corners. They ain't playing like it though, because the coaches are doing their thing. Running back, I would like, a little bit better running back production there with some of those upgrades that we have. But, like, you make the Super Bowl, you get a lot of extra XP, you get a lot of extra stuff. Mike Johnson, credit to this guy. He is so loyal. He could have left anytime. He's been a 99 overall forever. He's about to be maxed out. I can't even be mad if he leaves, honestly. He's earned it. Like, he is so valid for leaving. He's stuck here way longer than he probably should have. So, respect to him if he leaves. Pete Brooks, the offensive line's doing their thing. They're all right. I mean, I feel like with how talented this offensive line is, sometimes they do have some moments of lapses, but maybe, we can continue to get that better. Linebacking coach, I mean, linebackers are playing great. And I mean, this is a situation, though, where we do have really talented linebackers. You got Thomas Howard, former runner-up and Defensive Player of the Year, Sean Merriman, and you have just so many great players. Michael Poe is there as well. Todd Bowles, I mean, what a blessing it is to have Todd Bowles on this team. Another person where it's like, yeah, if you leave, valid. You can go be a defensive coordinator on a team right now. And I mean, Todd Bowles is literally a head coach in real life. Like, he is that good. He does not need to be here as our positional coach. So we've built a really good staff, and we are so happy about that. So we'll see if any of them decide to leave. It's more about that, where, you know, when you're a good team, when you're a bad team, you're looking to get a good staff. When you're a good team, you're trying to replace the good staff that leaves. I saved up my points last year, and we're going to finally buy it this year. Maxing out passing game discipline. We have maxed out the passing game tree. So ball carrier moves. I want to eventually also get to the one where it is ball carrier, the carrying. That's the one I'm trying to get to right now. So we need 5,000 more points. Next season, we'll have the carrying boost, but I need the carrying up. So obviously, we want to keep our GM. Obviously, we want to keep as many guys on this staff as we can. I am not looking to change anybody. Butch at a 93 overall, he will stay. No head coaching opportunities for him. Bob Sardisco, we want him to stay. He does. Dan Mifflin, we're fine with him staying. He is going to stay as well. We were number 1 in QB rating as well, so that's pretty nice to see. Solid running back stuff there. Kept him. Mike Johnson, he is gonna stay, so he still is going to stick around. Offensive line coach will stay. Linebacker coach at a 94 overall, he is going to leave, so we will need a new linebacker coach. He's young. He's, well, young for a coach. 40 years old is pretty good, especially for this time around where, you know, teams weren't hiring 28-year-old head coaches. Todd Bowles, he will leave. Valid for Todd Bowles to go and leave. I mean, he can probably go get a good opportunity somewhere else. So it's valid. We're going to be losing out on 2 of our defensive minds and 2 of our better ones too. So definitely going to want to keep our trainer as well. Yeah, so the thing that does kind of stink though is the fact that we are so late in the coaching cycle. All the teams have hired all their coaches, and I guess this is kind of how the game tries to nerf some good teams or give them a little bit of a setback. But the only linebacker coach available, how about a recently retired Teddy Bruschi to be our linebacker coach? That's awesome. I love that. So yeah, retired players in this game can be coaches, which is cool. So we got Teddy Bruschi, but basically I turned down this DB coach, and they're like, no, well, you can't turn him down. He's the only one left. So this is kind of how they, I guess, nerf some good teams a little bit, because you don't get any opportunities. So, yeah, we basically got stuck with, like, the worst of the worst. But Teddy Bruschi's not bad. Todd Bowles is just still sitting out there as well because, you know, no other team could go and hire him. But it is what it is. It's a little weird, but yeah, Teddy Bruschi, that's a pretty dang good linebacker coach. Even though he was the only one left, he was a low overall because he's a recently retired player. But yeah, I'll develop him into becoming a nice coach. Here's kind of the contract situation going into the offseason for some of our players. We have some decently high-paid players. Chad Gunn, yeah, I mean, that contract does eat up a lot. It's a little worrying with some of the contracts we have expiring next year. DeFazio Combs is due for an extension, and oh boy, am I going to pay him a lot. Tommy Harris, so franchise tag is here. I've used the franchise tag last couple of seasons. We're not going to use it this year. Tommy Harris, a tag on him would be $11 million. He's just too beat up. He's just too worn down. And even though he's not like crazy old, he's about to turn 30. And it's better right now that he's gotten some rest, but still 30, 40. I just can't. I can't justify giving him that type of money when he'd be the highest paid player on our team and he just can't play to the extent that he used to be able to. Like, that is, like, I was fine potentially giving him an extension once upon a time, but I just can't justify doing that right now because he is so hurt. So that is something you got to deal with when your players start to get a little bit old. You got wear and tear on players. And even though players can be young, he's 29, he's about to turn 30. He's not like an old man, but sometimes players' bodies just break down at earlier stages than others. And sometimes wear and tear kicks in, and sometimes one guy takes a couple too many bad hits. Sometimes you get that, and that's unfortunate. But Tommy Harris, some teams probably going to go and take a risk on him. They can go ahead and do that. I want my players to be available and, you know, maybe save some money a little bit because of the fact that we do have to pay some legit guys next season because our first draft class does expire next year. So DeFazio Combs is the main person. We get a little worried when 2 years after that, that's going to be worrying because imagine the type of money Travion Davis is going to command. And there are some players that we're going to have to part ways with. This is the tough part of keeping a winning core together is you can't pay everybody. and we paid a quarterback. That's how this goes. We paid a quarterback, and because we paid a quarterback, somebody's going to have to lose out. And we're paying DeFazio Combs. There's a couple of players on this team that are untouchable. I'm not letting Chad Gunn, I'm not letting DeFazio Combs, I'm not letting Travion Davis. Those are the three players. I'm not letting them go anywhere else. I can't let. But over the next 2 years, those other offensive linemen, Sam Cumberland, first-round pick, older player, but first-round pick, 91 overall, are we going to be able to hang on to him? How about Howard Sanders, who was an 88 overall right tackle? He's pretty good. We're going to have enough money to hang on to him. We're going to have enough money to hang on to whoever else, Michael Poe. We're going to have enough money to hang on to Weidenhofer when that contract comes up. We're going to have enough money to hang on to whoever, Calvin Cashmont. Running backs in this game are pretty expensive. Has Cashmont done enough to warrant a contract extension if that time eventually comes? We're in the days before the fixed wage scale for the rookies where they had the fixed contracts. We had to negotiate them, and we had to pay them big money. And much like the 49ers now with Brock Purdy and other teams in real life paying their quarterbacks, somebody's going to have to be let go, and somebody's going to have to be moved on from as a result of the money we're paying our quarterback.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Schefter of NFL Network here with the Senior All-Star Game update. Nevada quarterback Andrew Zito continues to look like the best quarterback in this year's class after some great practices. He displayed amazing accuracy and touch all week long, and I heard some scouts comparing him to a former Hall of Fame 49ers quarterback because of his strong arm and outstanding mobility. Georgia's strong safety prospect Jarvis Mickens really made a name for himself this week. He was destroying players with his vicious hits in practice, and he even forced receivers Omar West and Jarius Lockwood to leave the field after some violent collisions. Well, that's all for now. See you at the Combine. Thanks for watching NFL Network.
So we do have some little restricted free agency decisions to make. Obviously, Marty Good, not some groundbreaking move here, but we would like to keep our fullback, and he made the Pro Bowl last year as a fullback. Obviously, a team's probably not going to offer us a second-round pick to sign our fullback away, so we'll do the sixth-round tender. I mean, I probably wouldn't even trade a sixth-round or trade for a sixth-round pick, but here's the free agency class here. Obviously, no longer looking for a quarterback. We're good here. Running back, nothing here. Desmond Duffy's out there in free agency, though. Receiver, there's a couple of receivers. Fullback, there are a couple of fullbacks if you wanted to move on. But receivers, there's some good names out here. Mario Manningham. How about also Calvin Johnson, unrestricted free agent. He's a low overall because he doesn't fit the speed archetype. If I made it like physical or something, he'd probably be like a 90 overall, but still interesting that it is going to be Calvin Johnson hitting the open market. The Lions really did a number on him. Tight ends, stacked as always. Offensive line, there's some good linemen available, but we're not really looking. Right guard is the only spot we need, but like it's not a dire need. Howard Sanders is a restricted free agent. We will have a chance to tender him. Jake Middleton, who has been our backup kind of first man off the bench, is available. Chris Long is available, 92 overall. He's amazing. Amobi Okoye is going to be available, which is awesome. I don't know why Tommy Harris isn't showing there. Maybe he's just so beat up, but Tommy Harris should be there. Linebacker, I do think we need another linebacker. There are some guys available for us potentially. Carlos Dansby is an interesting name to kick him into the inside. Cornerback, I'm pretty okay at cornerback for now to maybe not sign a guy, but draft a guy. Safety, I'm okay at safety as well. I'm pretty happy with what we got here. So free agency, I can tell you it's probably not going to be an eventful free agency because we just also don't have crazy amounts of money to spend. The money we do have, we need to pay our rookies and maybe save for some other future contracts, Howard Sanders being one of them. But we are going to tender Howard Sanders because we would like to keep our starting right tackle, a pretty quality right tackle that we found in the 4th round. We'll put a first-round tender on him.
I'm Adam Schefter, and this is the NFL Network Combine Update. Marty Benson was the star of the Combine after a 4.440 time. His place in the top 10 is assured after that run. Miami junior defensive tackle Marcus Tapp was someone who really helped himself this week. He did well in all of the individual drills and also ran the fastest time of any defensive tackle. His stock is soaring right now. A few guys really hurt themselves by deciding not to attend the Combine. Top 10 cornerback DeAndre Miles was a last-minute scratch after a wakeboarding accident sprained his right ankle. How many times do these players have to realize, don't go wakeboarding? Scouts have no idea what they'll see at pro days. That's all for now. I'm signing off from Indianapolis.
are wakeboarding incidents common occurrence here? What the heck? DeAndre Miles is supposed to be that dude, but I guess he's a little banged up right now. But we're not going to be hyper aggressive when it comes to draft moves. We don't need to trade up for anybody. If an opportunity presents itself, always we keep the phones open. But this could be a pretty quiet offseason, especially compared to last year with our blockbuster trade and some of the years previous. I'm still going to try to see what we can do to try to set this team up for the future. I do think a tight end could be in our reach potentially. You know, D'Antonio's all right, but you know, wouldn't hurt to get a good one.
I'm Todd McShay, and this is the NFL Draft Preview. I put together my initial mock first round today, and it's still anybody's guess who's going to come off the board at the top. As it stands right now, I have quarterback Andrew Zito as the #1 player in the land. But coming on very strong are Florida State lockdown corner DeAndre Miles and Texas wide receiver Doran McKinley. Those guys are followed by Alabama's Vince McGrady, Chris Brock from Louisville, and Louisiana Tech stud quarterback Marcus Holland. This is shaping up as a very strong class at the defensive tackle position, also a lot of depth at guard and at cornerback.
Gonna be honest, that's about what we'd like to hear. If there's a need for this team, I think guard, especially for the future. I think another cornerback could be in need because even though we have the two that we love, both of them are nearing 30 and maybe we could use a number 3. And defensive tackle, we need defensive tackle badly. So we're going to take a peek at what we have here in free agency. We got $23 million to spend, so not a lot, especially when you're considering the fact that we have to pay our rookies as well. So you got to, I usually like to set aside close to $10 million, you know, depending on how things go and how high of a pick we have. But, you know, if a trade up happens, I like to set aside like $10 million for our rookies, unless we're, you know, making a blockbuster trade for Chad Gunn or something. But, we have a little bit to spend. We can maybe bring in like one really good player, but I don't know if that's going to really situate itself in that way. Kenny Phillips, 92 overall safety in our division. The Giants are looking like they're going to have to fight to get him, and I don't know if they are going to be able to do that. So he's really good, 5-year deal, 26 years old. Giants are right here with the Bills. I'd like to see Kenny Phillips leave the division as he and the Giants are going to... They're going to stay together. All right. So Kenny Phillips stays in the division. Unfortunate. Matt Schaub, obviously not in the market for a quarterback, but just to see where some of these top quarterbacks go. And the Colts are in the market for a quarterback. Interesting. I understand the Lions. The Rams at Mark Bulger, I guess maybe he retired or something, but it made me interesting. So Mark Bulger did retire. That makes sense. Here's some of the other retirements. Mike Vrabel retired, so Buccaneers got 1 year out of him, and it didn't result in a Super Bowl. But the big thing right there, Plaxico Burress, another retirement. Jason Taylor, Dwight Freeney, but that's not the big one. The big retirement, Peyton Manning goes out on top with a Super Bowl ring, and he retires a little bit earlier than he did in real life, but he also never goes to the Broncos, and he gets to have 4 Super Bowls and not feel like he needs to chase another one. So that leaves things very open. That the Colts, who are the forefront of this dynasty, lost Peyton Manning. So they're still going to be good, but will they be Super Bowl good? I think that opens things up, one for the Patriots and the AFC, but just the Super Bowls in general. You don't have to deal with the Colts anymore. Amobi Okoye, defensive tackles, like I said, really expensive. And if I had a lot more money, if this were a couple of years ago, a 93 overall defensive tackle for $9 million, I probably would. I could, but I'm not going to. The Lions are going to get him, add on to their defense. They need offense badly, but adding on to their defense, I guess. Oh, so that just made me think, what the heck are the Texans doing? The Texans had the #1 draft pick last year. They drafted Joker Davis. He had an awesome year, and now they've just lost Amobi Okoye, who's their best defensive player at a 93 overall, and they just lost Matt Schaub, who's their quarterback. I don't know what the Texans are doing here. Mario Manningham leaves the division. He was on the Giants and the Cowboys, but now he's going to the Rams, so the Rams loading up and getting a couple of nice players. We have some nice draft capital, just the 1 first-round pick at the bottom of the round, but 2 seconds, 2 thirds. Chris Cooley is a free agent. Lions let him go after a disappointing offensive year, and to be honest, I would actually have loved to bring Chris Cooley back. The issue is not on a 4-year deal at 30 years old. If this were a 2-year $8 million deal, I actually would have done it, but I'm not going to. Calvin Johnson, This is the luxury of all luxury pickups here. 4 years, $24 million. That's so cheap for Calvin Johnson. And I know he's sitting there, and the Giants are offering. I understand this, but bringing in Calvin Johnson to be my number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver, he's going to go to the Giants. We're going to let him go. He doesn't fit our scheme. He doesn't fit. It's just, that would just be picking up somebody who's a cool name, but like, I got to be smart. I have to be smart here. So if there's going to be a signing that we're actually really interested in making, Martin McPeak, a linebacker. We do need a number 2 next to Michael Poe, a little bit more of a reliable guy. He's 29 years old. It's a 4-year deal, but it's not an expensive 4-year deal. It's a $3.3 million contract per year. So I think that's pretty fair for an 84 overall linebacker who had a really good rookie season. The Broncos kind of, didn't let him really do much afterwards. But, I mean, for a number 2 linebacker and to add on to this linebacking core, which we are, replacing. This is essentially our London Fletcher replacement. I mean, look what he did in his rookie season. Really good. And then the Broncos just kind of sat him as the number 2. I don't know what they were really doing there, but we'll take that. And he does have some good stats to him. He can be a really good tackler, really good hitter. Pretty absurd awareness stats for him. Not crazy athlete, not an amazing coverage guy, but also really nice power moves, pass rushing. So it's a nice fit for this defense. We have some pro day stuff. I typically don't show a lot of pro day stuff, only like the notable ones that we want to attend. I do really like what Florida has going there, 5 players, and we'll take a peek at them. So I'm not going to show you a bunch of the pro days as usual, but Florida State, that's the one I want to go to. DeAndre Miles. I think we are not going to have a single chance in the world to get him, but how about a man-to-man corner comp to Champ Bailey, who got injured in a wakeboarding accident, who gets multiple pick sixes a season? I mean, a man coverage corner with multiple pick sixes a season, that sounds like my kind of corner and the corners we have had so far for this team. So Darius Cass, a former second-round draft pick for us, we are going to let him go. The Bengals are actually going to pay him a 5-year deal. Interesting. Now, Jake Middleton, nobody wants to pay him, even though he's a little bit better and also cheaper, and that's interesting. So Jake Middleton, I wasn't really anticipating bringing him back. I thought his market would be pretty good, but a 5-year deal for 12 mil total, 2.2 a year, like, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I feel like that's very fair for a first man off the bench rotational D lineman. Like, I think that maybe it's a little much, but it's a really good player, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with having really good players on your team and, at a cheap price. So we have that philosophy. Just get good talent on the team and get some good deals going. So individual workouts are here, and we haven't really made a whole lot of moves in free agency. Like I said, we just don't got that kind of money with the contracts that we have to pay in the next year or two. And we're going to have to, in the next year or two, make some transitions to this roster and continue to, keep that base of the future going. But when it comes to what we're looking at, the positions are tight end, because we still have D'Antonio, who's fine, but I'd like to see what I can do here. This Jason Conroy guy looks awesome. He was talked about by Schefter a little bit, compared him to Antonio Gates, good athleticism, solid hands. This dude, Tony Jackson, pretty solid as well. I would imagine these are, I would imagine Conroy's a first rounder, probably a late first rounder, and I'd imagine these other guys are like second rounders. So I don't know if I'd take the tight end in the first round, but I'd be cool taking one in the second round. So on top of tight end, I'm looking for guard. I'm looking for defensive tackle. Defensive tackle is the biggest need, and I'm also like subtly looking at secondary. So I think the linebacking core set. Receiver, we could, but Santana Moss is still pretty dang good, and we don't need to address receiver that badly. Running back is, I mean, Cashmont's pretty good. Just needs to stop fumbling the football. But D-tackle, it's the need. And there's not a lot of good ones here for our scheme. This guy, though, Dwayne Patterson, he's compared to Tommy Harris. That's a pretty natural person we're going to go after, because compared to the person we just let go. So when it comes to these other guys, Michael Mackey, I mean, that's pretty good. Compared to Pat Williams, 90 block shed. And he's got 5 finesse moves. But he's a big, strong guy who could stuff the middle. So I'm pretty cool with that. We'll get his potential going and seeing what he is going to potentially be for us if we want to go and draft him. Elsewhere, I want to look at some of these other D tackles, and as I was scrolling down, you see a lot of repetitive, unspectacular comps because they're comping players to guys stylistically that don't have maybe the craziest upside. But then when you scroll past and you see Warren Sapp as a comp, and he's all the way down here, 93 learning. He's got good block shed, good power move, good strength. He's slow as dirt. He's slower than Chad Gunn, but he is 5'10", 285. He's undersized like crazy, but he is fascinating, and he is a very late projected player. So DeAndre Miles also, dude, this is the greatest cornerback I have ever seen in my life. This is who I would dream about. 99 speed, 95 man, 99 excel, 97 agility. He's even got 85 zone coverage. This dude is unbelievable. He is insane. And if this is the type of player I would trade multiple first round picks for, there's no way I'm going to be able to get him. He's going top 5. I would love to. I would consider trading multiple first round picks to move up to get him. It's just not going to happen. So like, I'm here getting myself all excited for this dude that I'm never going to be able to have. So that stinks, but he is unbelievable. So if you want a little bit of a lighter version, how about Kalimba Bryant? We went to Florida's Pro Day. We learned that he's a pretty good man and zone cover with some solid play rec, solid speed as well. You got Jarnell Sands, who's pretty decent as well. So those two corners down there could be late first, early second rounders, could be in our range with our 2 second-round picks and our 31st pick in the draft. Jarvis Mickens, I really do like as well. Looks like an interesting player. Like I said, I'm subtly attacking like secondary. I'd like some more depth in the secondary, and I don't know what this team's future is going to hold in the secondary with Laurent Landry's safe for now. Weidenhofer is really old and his contract could be expiring soon. We're gonna use that workout on Conroy because he looks like the best tight end in the class. Linebacker Vince McGrady. I know we did just sign a linebacker, but is signing Martin McPeak for $3 million going to stop you from taking a dude who's comp to Ray Lewis? Probably not. Will we have a chance to take him? Also probably not. So I am interested though, and even though that McManus dude's comp to London Fletcher, I'm more so interested in McGrady, obviously. Thaddeus Brunson, fascinating player. Awesome. Compared to Julius Peppers, he's got 85 speed, 83 strength, 90 excel. He's 6'8", 290. Yeah, that's just Julius Peppers. Unbelievable player. He doesn't fit our scheme, really, but he's so good. And then this dude, Maurice Bond, looks like the top left end potentially, but I know nothing about him, so I want to scout him just so I know.
Adam Schefter of NFL Network back with the Pro Day update. I had the opportunity to hit every major school's Pro Day, and here are my impressions. FSU's Pro Day was popular with scouts and GMs. Everyone seemed to be there to see DeAndre Miles in person, and man, did he put on a show. He ran a legitimate 4.2 240 in front of a crowd of hundreds. That has him fully entrenched as the #1 cornerback in this year's class. In fact, he might be the best player, period. Well, that's about it from Pro Days. Adam Schefter signing off for the NFL Network and EA Sports.
The story was exclusively about DeAndre Miles, and to be honest, it's kind of valid, because Miles is unbelievable, but when we continue on with some of these other individual workouts, I think of all the receivers that I'm kind of eyeing. You know, I always want to keep some tabs on some receivers, even if it's not always the biggest need. At any point, Santana Moss could retire, and you know, we'll see what the rest of the receiving core kind of pans out to be. Thaddeus Brunson was a player I was eyeing, even though maybe not the best scheme fit. Did like him. Kenny Coker was kind of talked about a little bit as a draft story at the very beginning for Florida State, and I mean, I'm not opposed to maybe eyeing running back, but yeah, like I said, eyeing some receivers. Jarius Lockwood is the one I do like the most. That is realistic for me to potentially get. Like, McKinley is going to go way too high. Miles, we don't need to look at, but we know he's really good. Kalimba Bryant, another player who's talked about a little bit at the start of the season. Definitely interested in him a little bit. Corner could be a subtle need for us with our contract situation, age of our top 2 corners next season, because Ronaldo Moon will expire, and then, you know, they're late 20s, early 30s. Kurt Tomko, again, guard. I think we could use that. We are just definitely in a spot where while we do have some needs, we are a contending team in this best player available type situation, but I mean, you just have to keep in mind that we're not always going to be able at this point in time to do the cool, fun, flashy moves. You know, here's Ray Capps, another guard I'm eyeing, but we have to set things up for the fact that we paid our quarterback and then the contracts we have coming down the pipeline, which is Travion Davis in the next 2 years and DeFazio Combs next season and some of these other players. Ronaldo Moon, like I said, he's going to be a contract expiring, and we have a lot of players that are late 20s or contract expiring. We drafted some older rookies like Sam Cumberland, who was like a 24, 25-year-old rookie. Weidenhofer was like 25 years old when we drafted him. So we have older players on this team, and the fact that we just have to pay some of these players. So we are also drafting for potential replacements down the line as well.
Adam Schefter of NFL Network back with the final scouting update of the year. Vince McGrady made quite the impression on NFL scouts this week after working out for several teams. McGrady is a middle linebacker from Alabama who has the tools to become one of the all-time greats. I overheard scouts from both the Colts and Patriots saying they'd entertain the possibility of trading up to get McGrady. That's how good he is. Kurt Tomko from Iowa and Ray Capps of Auburn should both be first-day selections as well. Tomko is inching closer and closer to the top half of the first round. And keep an eye out for Jason Conroy from Idaho. He reminds me a lot of Antonio Gates.
So they did talk about a couple of players we eyed, but here is the potential of these players. Lockwood, 91 potential, looks really nice. Jason Conroy, Antonio Gates, potential clone here. Incredible spec catch, 89 potential. Definitely someone we could be eyeing as a potential tight end of the future. Ray Cap, someone who they brought up. 92 potential. The Ben Grubbs run blocking, that looks awesome. Maurice Bond, not so good. Not someone we're really eyeing for our first round selection. Thaddeus Brunson, he's got 89 potential, and this is a guy who, like I said, probably doesn't even fit our scheme. So if we were to get him in the right area, in the right spot, could be nice. Dwayne Patterson, Tommy Harris comp, obviously a natural transition. 89 potential, solid. Michael Mackey. Well, that, I mean, I thought he looks pretty good, but like this is how much scheme really impacts things, where he has 69 potential for us. Vince McGrady, no surprise, he's really good, 90 potential. I don't know if we'll be in a position to get him. Kalimba Bryan, 88 potential, someone I would like to have. And then Jarvis Mickens, 86 potential safety, not a pressing need, but just wanted to take a look at it. But the reason I was looking at safety is I would like some more depth. And how about a player from a couple of years ago who was a draft story? Brandon Bellamy from Florida, if you remember him, he was, I believe, a first-round selection. So we're going to get him on a really cheap long-term contract to, you know, have that third safety maybe if he can develop for us. I am looking for more depth in the secondary. So the free agency recap, we did lose a number of players, but a lot of players are easily replaceable. We did, like I said, get some safety depth here. Jake Middleton, we kept around. Martin McPeak, a new pickup for us. Those are the main guys. But the players we lost, I mean, it's nothing crazy. Like Brandon Merriweather, a lot of depth, undrafted rookies who kind of stuck around. Some of these other people. Tommy Harris, interestingly enough, did not get signed throughout the entirety of free agency. There is real concern about him. If he goes unsigned, then like you can really see why we couldn't bring him back and definitely couldn't pay him some long-term contracts. So the losses we had, Darius Cass, so we lost out a little bit on our defensive line. Defensive tackle is definitely a need. Some depth areas are a need. And then we have a couple of other positions I'd like to fill in, like guard. So we are into the first round of the draft, and I can tell you, spoiler alerts, don't anticipate me making some monumental trade up to a top pick to draft somebody like I did with Chad Gunn. But as always, we keep the phone lines open to see if anything could pop up for us, and we'll see how things unfold throughout this draft with the first overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock.
An extremely talented wide receiver out of Austin, Doran McKinley has all the tools NFL teams are looking for in a wide receiver. McKinley stands 6'5" and still has a ridiculous 42-inch vertical jump. McKinley had a great junior season, leading the Big 12 with 85 receptions and 1,450 receiving yards to go along with 10 touchdowns. His best game of the year came in the Big 12 championship, where McKinley had the game-winning, amazing, one-handed catch in overtime to help Texas beat Colorado 41-34 for the conference title. He also had 230 yards receiving, and that was not even an afterthought.
Only note I really want to add is the fact that the Steelers in week 1 beat us, and, it was like the missed kicks and everything, but it's really interesting. Steelers ended up with the #1 overall pick. We ended up making the Super Bowl, so things ended up very differently for these two teams.
DeAndre Miles is the best cornerback prospect this league has seen in decades. His man coverage skills are already considered elite by most NFL scouts, and his college football accolades are well documented. 3 All-ACC first teams, 15 career interceptions, 5 of those returned for scores. Miles also returns punts and kicks, although it remains to be seen if any NFL team wants him to focus on anything other than becoming a Pro Bowl cornerback. Wisconsin has produced yet another high-profile running back prospect. Marty Benson is the latest phenom toting the rock for the Badgers. He's built like a pickup truck at 6'2", 235, and Benson also managed to run a legit 4.40 at the NFL Combine, much to the amazement of everyone who was watching. To sum it up, Marty Benson is basically a bigger, faster version of Larry Johnson. That sound you hear is defensive coordinators around the league taking a big gulp. Vince McGrady is an absolute monster at the middle linebacker position with a 6'5", 275-pound frame. McGrady is most often compared to former NFL Defensive Player of the Year Ray Lewis when the scouts take a look at the film. Very instinctive player, his play recognition is already at an elite NFL level. McGrady is a high-energy type of guy who never leaves the field. McGrady was also voted by the players as Alabama's defensive captain the last 2 seasons, which goes to show his leadership skills and the amount of respect his teammates gave him.
Couple of really cool players going back to back. DeAndre Miles, man. If I could have had a chance at him, that would have been incredible. That was like my dream corner right there. Champ Bailey comp with 95-man coverage, incredible athleticism and all that. Then you got Vince McGrady, who, was unlikely we were going to get a chance at. But, I wanted to take a look at, even if you don't always have the chance at some of these top players, you want to keep an eye on them. Like I said, always keeping the trade-ups as an open line of communication. The 49ers take the defensive tackle who, we would have been pretty in line to take him if he made it to our pick just because of the sheer need of defensive tackle for us. Then we get the San Diego Chargers taking Trayvon Henderson, safety. We got 12, the Panthers taking Diggs. So Eagles at 13, Cowboys at 14, some division rivals back to back.
Patrick Graham has great explosiveness as a pass rusher. In fact, he was one of the top Big Ten sack artists for the last 2 seasons with over 25 career sacks. He's got great natural strength and explosive upper body power. They are big reasons for his success. He simply overpowers most offensive tackles when matched up one-on-one. If you're looking for a boost to the pass rush, Pat Graham is your guy. Jarius Lockwood is a great player from Nevada who is a beast to stop all year long in the WAC. Lockwood led the conference in the 3 major receiving categories with 80 receptions, 1,200 receiving yards, and 9 touchdowns. Lockwood's game is a lot like Santonio Holmes, not the tallest wide receiver, but his speed and agility more than make up for the lack of height. Look for Lockwood to start off in the slot and ease his way into the starting lineup as this season progresses. He will need some time to adapt to the NFL game, but it won't be long before he's starting.
Little unfortunate there. Both teams get a pretty nice draft story player. 2 guys that I had some interest in. There's Thaddeus Brunson going as well. Chiefs, not a draft story, but my goodness, we know he's going to be pretty dang good if he gets in the right system. And then the Detroit Lions.
Andrew Zito is a dynamic southpaw quarterback who passed for over 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns during his senior season at Nevada. Zito is also a big threat running the ball, as his 650 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns would suggest. Zito has drawn comparisons to a young Mark Brunell from many longtime talent evaluators, so don't be shocked when he helps this team right away.
Lions passed on a quarterback last year. We got the pick from them to get Chad Gunn. And then this year they go and get Andrew Zito, which honestly, that's a really good value at the 17th overall pick.
Marcus Holland has the size, speed, and arm strength that makes scouts drool. Holland's junior season at Louisiana Tech, which by the way was his only one as a starter in Division I football, was a great one with over 3,500 passing yards and 33 touchdowns, proving he can also deliver at this level as well as the junior college level where he absolutely dominated the competition. Holland stands 6'6" and can throw a baseball over 90 miles an hour, which makes him one of the most interesting long-term prospects we have in this draft. It's not every year that you get an elite offensive guard prospect in the top portion of the draft, but Iowa's Kurt Tomko is the guy this year. Tomko is a true freak of nature, standing 6'8" and 350. One would think that he would not have much mobility at that size, but one would be wrong. He is more mobile than some tight ends in the league. He's got great footwork, and he can get out in space and adjust on the run, something most 350-pounders simply can't do. He's been a guy getting the job done at Iowa for the past 3 seasons, so look for him to be plugged right into the starting lineup for this team.
A lot of draft stories, so I think it's also really interesting. The Saints took Marcus Holland, so Louisiana Tech quarterback goes to New Orleans, and that could be the Drew Brees successor because Brees probably doesn't have long left. Quarterbacks in this game don't maybe treat themselves like they do in real life where they'll play till 40. Also, Jason Conroy goes to Tampa Bay. Unfortunate, we don't even have a chance to take him. But yeah, quarterbacks in this game will retire at 36 years old, 37. So don't be surprised if they retire a little bit earlier than what you would expect. Jarvis Mickens is going to go into the division. So all 3 of our division rivals end up making pretty solid picks. And, I was considering what potential trade-ups could look like, but after making a lot of trades over the last couple of seasons to get, climb back into the first round, double up on first round picks, do a bunch of stuff. Michael Mackey goes there. That was the dude who had 69 potential for us, so we'll see how the Texans do with that. But I don't feel like it's necessary this year to go and make some crazy trade up. The Seahawks go and get Omar West, so a speedy weapon for Jared May. We'll see if he ends up like DeFazio Combs. Raiders, they're looking to trade. Again, it's potential, but Peyton Manning just retired for the Colts, and look at that. The Colts trade up a couple of spots and take Joey Ray. Could be the potential Peyton Manning successor. Vikings, they go and take Dean Watson at cornerback, and then the Rams, 1 pick before us, take an outside linebacker. So, with our pick, 31 on the board, and this is a situation where I already said we're kind of in a best player available. Obviously not looking for a quarterback. Receiver, not really super big on. Kalimba Bryant is here. 88 potential is pretty solid, but when you look at who's on the board, I know that I have taken so many offensive linemen, and I fully understand that maybe the offensive lineman is not the pick that you want to see. It's not the flashy pick. It's not the running back. It's not the wide receiver. It's not the corner. But, Ray Capps is the best player on the board. He was a draft story player. He's got the highest potential of all the players that we know. And guard, is it a dire need? No, it's not a dire need. We do have a weak spot on the offensive line of Max Jean Giles, but, he's not a bad player. He's perfectly solid for us. And if that's your worst offensive lineman, you're doing okay. But we could do better. And with the situation with having maybe the best player available on the board to us being an offensive lineman, this offensive line isn't maybe as set as you might think, I would say. When we're looking at our trade-ups, too, I don't want to just trade for second and third round picks next year. I want to at least get a first. Obviously, you can understand why they wouldn't want to trade a first next year, but I'm not really interested in making a move like that. Second, third next year, and a sixth this year doesn't really excite me. I mean, even if the Falcons bottom out, I guess it could be a high second round pick, but I'll pass on that. I think we're going to make a selection here. And like I said, I don't think this offensive line is as set as you might think. And I know it's boring for some people. I apologize for my obsession on the offensive line. But I want to do everything I can to make sure that this quarterback is set up for the future. We lost Davin Joseph in the trade to get Chad Gunn. We need a right guard. Well, I think if you're going to go and replace a right guard, go and spend our next first-round pick on that. And with Sam Cumberland being late 20s, with Howard Sanders being an expiring contract, with the impending Travion Davis contract that we have coming up, we're not going to be able to pay all of our offensive linemen. So let's get a cheaper, younger rookie deal, not an offensive lineman who I had to draft in like kind of win now scenarios like a Cumberland who was, 25 years old when I drafted him. Ray Capps is going to be the selection here. It's objectively just the smart pick to make. And again, I apologize if that's not the exciting pick to make, but the final pick of the first round, it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking a safety. So we go up ahead, and somebody had fallen, and it was somebody I was looking at with my first round pick. So we're sitting here, 56 is our next pick in the second round, and 43 is where we're at right now. I wasn't liking some of the trade options, but I want to move up. Buccaneers at 44. I want to move up because someone continues to fall. The negotiations here were not something I loved. I was wondering if they wanted maybe any of our players. They didn't really. So then here is the 49ers at pick 45. They're interested in trading down. They want Robert Metcalf. That could be a potential move we make. I would prefer to just give up draft picks though. And, trading a 5th and a 6th to potentially move up 11 spots, I'd be happy with that. But they are not. They want more. They want maybe a 3rd round pick, which I wouldn't want to give up a 3rd round pick to move up 11 spots in the second round. I can maybe say a 4th, but I don't want to give up a 3rd. The trade options, not the best for what they're looking for. And it's very likely that a team like the Chiefs, Seahawks, or Colts could get a better offer there. 2 4s is even a little rich of a price potentially, but a 4 and a 6 is probably what I'd be most comfortable with. I just don't know if that would get the job done. And when you're looking at the stars right there, it's about a 2.5-star offer. The Chiefs have a little bit more than that to offer. So I don't think that that's going to go our way, but I don't want to get too aggressive and give up more than we should, especially for a player that I would like but isn't a necessity right now. So he doesn't go here to the Chiefs. The Cowboys at 46, they want Edwin Smith. So here's where we kind of get into a little bit of business here. Edwin Smith is a player that was a 2nd rounder, really nice potential, but since signing Calais Campbell and then Lamar Rhodes ends up coming in and is a really nice player, we don't need Edwin Smith that much. He's going to be a player that would probably command a decent price, a decent amount of money, but we're obviously not going to want to pay him. But the Cowboys, they more so want draft picks, but I want to give up Edwin Smith here. Edwin Smith, a 4th and a 5th would be, awesome to give up for this pick. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. So, interdivision trades also a little bit of a headache to make at sometimes when you're trying to trade in the division, but I tried 4th and 5th, and unfortunately for us, Dallas selects Kalimba Bryant. That was the player that fell. A player I think I even described as awesome to get him in the second round, but maybe not a guy I'm targeting in the first round. He slips to the second round and a little further down, but I would have liked him, but I didn't want to pick him in the first round. So I think I made the right pick because I made the better pick. I picked the better player in Caps who was a bigger need. But I would have liked to have Kalimba Bryant. That would have been an awesome number 4 corner early on in his career, and then he could potentially take over for one of our other guys if we eventually let them go. So in the second round, it's a pretty weak second round board right now here in the late second at pick 56. I don't love it. Jamar McManus is one of the notable players, but we did just sign Martin McPeak. We don't need to prioritize our number 2 linebacker spot nearly as much, though it wouldn't hurt. But of course, when I looked at who was on the board, Todd Boone is here, and man, this was a guy who has a draft story. I don't think Shefty's going to have anything to say about it, but he was an early season draft story. Him and Montana were averaging 300 rushing yards a game behind him, and he's 6'9", over 350 pounds. He is strong. He is just monstrous. And it's man, am I really going to sit here and take another offensive lineman? And if I'm being honest, I went to the trades and I did find a trade that I was interested in. So defensive tackle, a big need. How about DeAndre Patterson, who's a 77 overall young player who's got who knows what his potential is, but then 2 4th-round picks on top of that. Maybe not the most ideal trade in the world, but I wanted a little bit more quantity in draft picks to fill out the rest of this roster, and a lottery ticket defensive tackle potentially. But he did fall to 63, And I know it's an offensive lineman. This is one where, just trust me, man. I know only 5 offensive linemen can play at once. I am aware. But just trust me on this one. Todd Boone, it's too fascinating to pass up. He's too interesting to pass up. I know I have a really good offensive line. I know I only had 1 hole on the offensive line. I know I could take Jamar McManus, but I just signed a linebacker. Todd Boone, I want to do some stuff with you. Todd Boone is the draft pick. I apologize, guys. I know it's too many offensive linemen, but I promise I'll slow it down with the offensive line draft picks. But, like, I'm just trying to also improve the run blocking as well. You know, we have a lot of pass blockers on our offensive line. Maybe get the run blocking a little bit up, but I think there's some versatility there with Todd Boone, and maybe there's even some potential for him to do more than just play some offensive linemen. I have some really interesting, potential fun ideas for him. Maybe I'll get into a little Ben Johnson action with him, but 3rd round, the board, like, this is not a strong draft class, I will say, but Adrian Dansby, compared to Bob Sanders, I was looking for more safety depth. I did sign 2 safeties. We got our 2 starting safeties, so I'm looking for a lot more depth in the secondary, and to potentially see if we can get to some more 3 safety stuff and see if anyone can break out into like a 3rd safety role for us, maybe a nickel safety hybrid that didn't really exist nearly as much as it did 15 years ago as it does today. So of all the players that were on the board with the 80th overall pick, I didn't love it, but Adrian Dansby was the best one. His 80 zone coverage with 93 speed, solid awareness. He's undersized, but comp to Bob Sanders, and he's got some good stuff to him. So I think of all the players on the board, he was the one I liked the most, so we end up selecting him. And then when we move on to the late 3rd round, our natural 3rd round pick is going to be at pick 95. And when looking through, we need defensive tackle help, but defensive tackles were not great aside from this guy, Warren Sapp comp, Jaquan Walker. Trust me when I tell you, I didn't forget about him. I made sure that I had a pick set aside for him, so our 3rd round pick will be Walker. One of the 4th round picks we got from the Ravens, we're going to trade for picks next year. Again, I'm not a fan of this draft class that much. It was a very top-heavy draft class. I'm not as much of a fan of the depth in this one, so I'm going to end up making another trade. This one actually is going to be interdivision, so a 7th round next year, but we also get a 5th and a 7th this year. I'm more just so looking, because these mid-rounds don't love them, I am more so looking for these filler players on the roster. I'd prefer a little bit more lottery tickets, because there isn't a lot of players in the 4th round that I am, like, dying to have at this point. So in the 4th round, I think tight end could be a place to look. And honestly, I do want, like, a blocking tight end for our number 2. I would like a blocking tight end to help us out a little bit. The issue is like, blocking tight ends don't really seem to be super prevalent in this game, and I have pretty much no knowledge on, like, any of these guys. So then I'm looking at their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm like, well, which one of you guys has potentially blocking as a bonus for you? So it wasn't a lot to choose from. I ended up just settling on Harry Bronson, who looks pretty fast, had blocking as a plus. So let's kind of blow through the rest of this draft, since we only have, like, later round draft picks. 5th round, Glenn Long, 99 juke, really athletic, really agile, pretty impressive to me. How about 99 juke and elusiveness and 97 agility at wide receiver? And not the worst hands I've ever seen. This guy, how about a fun name? British Ball at defensive tackle, and he's strong. His other strengths are none and none. He's just strong, and his name is British Ball. I want him on my team. And then 7th round draft selection, looking at cornerback, nothing special here. I'm just going to take a flyer on Harold Jackson from St. John's. And that wraps up what I would imagine is maybe not the most exciting draft in the world, but I mean, we have to play it smart with also trying to keep the foundation of this team together, keep the core of this team together, and being able to restock and reload. So taking 2 offensive linemen, I know it's not the exciting thing, but offensive line is more of a need than you will probably like to admit, even though the offensive line is really good. I'm going to spoil it a little bit for you. We're not going to be able to keep all the current guys that we have on our line for next year, because next year, for the next, whatever the next offseason will be for us, is going to be the start of when things get a little difficult money-wise. It's going to be when a couple of guys that we signed, the defensive players that we signed over the past couple of seasons, when their stuff starts to kick in contract-wise, and when, Chad Gunn's contract gets even more, and some of these other players a little bit more. So we're going to take a look at the rookies. Here's Glenn Long. Looks pretty solid, to be honest. I mean, solid spectacular catch, solid hands, solid catch in traffic, solid release, has the athleticism, so he might be a pretty nice, number 4 receiver for us down the line. At tight end, say hello to, my worst draft pick ever. You can't hit them all, but my goodness, he didn't look that bad. 6'5", 267 with 83 speed. You didn't think he'd be that bad, but hey, Harry Bronson is one of the worst players you will ever see in your lifetime. Blocking was supposed to be something he was competent at. He's not. Catching, he can't catch to save his life. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm fine just rinsing my hands with this 4th round draft pick because he is horrendous. I mean, sometimes you just get draft picks like that. Not everyone can be a home run. Not all of them can even be a single. Sometimes you just strike out a little bit, but it is what it is. Offensive line, so here's where you can kind of see the situation here. Todd Boone, I ended up kicking him into guard for now. He has 88 potential, but here's the interesting part. How about 96 run block, 99 run block strength, decent run block footwork, but this is a pure run blocker, and to be honest, he'll be like a average to below average pass blocker, but if he can just be, hidden around a nice offensive line with 98 strength at his max, and I mean, I think there's some usage for him beyond simply just being an offensive lineman. I think I could get him some fullback reps, get him some extra tight end, some tackle eligible stuff here. Here's Ray Capps, though. He's incredible. This was maybe not the most exciting 1st round pick, but how about 96, 97 on the run blocking, while also being not the worst pass blocker you'll ever see. Not super strong, but really aware. A really nice guard who's got 92 potential. That is going to be a big upgrade from Maxine Giles, who's got 86 at his max. So it's a 6 overall upgrade if they hit. So I think that was a valid move, and it was the best player we could have taken there. Kalimba Bryant was the only other player that you probably could have rationalized taking, but he wouldn't have played the same role that Ray Capps would be for the future of this team. Jaquan Walker, despite getting Warren Sapp comps, he's not Warren Sapp, but he could be a pretty nice defensive tackle. He's the one that gives us the most confidence going forward. It's gonna hurt losing Tommy Harris. It really is. It stinks that his body broke down, and it stinks also we weren't gonna reasonably able to pay him. But British Ball is actually pretty competent as well. How about 84 potential? And he's got some power moves to him, some block shed. He's just not nearly as good, but he's a strong, shedding interior defensive lineman. That's good depth. That's a good number 3. Maybe even could be a good number 2. Brendan McLaughlin was another one of these rookies that we had. We're not going to just cut him, but the draft, I know it wasn't spectacular, but this was about mostly trying to retain the core we had. I mean, we went and made the Super Bowl. Do we need to make a bunch of drastic changes? No. Chad Gunn's going to be going into his 2nd season. Maybe we could get a sophomore slump. A lot of quarterbacks coming off a great rookie season do typically take a step back. But if that's the case, we're going to hope that this offensive line is going to continue to propel this team forward. We got Lance Spence going into another season. We'll see if the run game picks things up. Defensively, I know we lost Tommy Harris, but rest of this defense is still really good. I mean, everybody else is a returning starter, and the defensive line is still could be a strength for this team if one of these rookie defensive tackles hits their development pretty quickly and starts playing up to their potential. Will they be nearly as good as Tommy Harris? Obviously not, but this is still a really good team that we do expect to contend again. We just couldn't have the most exciting offseason in the world because of some of the other surrounding aspects of this team and some of the other contract situations that we'll eventually have to deal with. So this is probably going to be the least exciting offseason that we'll have of this series, but it was a necessity to just make sure this team stayed together and can continue to build the foundation, because reasonably, yeah, we could maybe have gone and made 1 or 2 big splash moves that would be really short-sighted, and maybe it could help us a little bit more for just strictly next season, but hey, we got a DeFazio Combs contract down the pipeline. We got some other players down the pipeline. Travion Davis is going to be asking for highest paid player in the league type of money. Ronaldo Moon, if we want to keep him. Like, there's going to be a lot of money that needs to be allocated to some of these other players. So let me know what you all thought of this video, how you thought of Chad Gunn in his rookie season, and everything that this team was able to do. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and like, comment, and subscribe, as I will see you guys all in the next one.